Yes, good people, good morning to you all. I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, and waking up blue overall, and you are living the blue life. I hope that's the case without wasting much of your time because we're starting 1 hour late today than usual. Let's get straight into the show. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I promise you it's going to be an interesting one. Yes, people, once again, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. Excuse me. Yep, sorry I had to cough. I hope you're all doing well. More importantly, again, I'm going to say this one more time. I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life because that's what's up. Let's get what we have in the chat immediately because this is an interactive show. Morning again, good morning to you too, Santiago Munoz. I hope you're doing well. And whenever I see that, I remember my brother Liam Lane. Liam Lane, if you're listening, I hope you're getting better. Again, get better first of all before anything else. But more importantly, we want you to get better. Again, I'm in count again. I'm in. Okay, count me present. 254 in the building. My Kenyan brother. I hope you're doing well. And this is just because Lukaku scored a goal. We want him at that much. No, it's not that we want him. The situation, it's looking more likely like he may end up coming back to us. And if that's the case, there's nothing we can do about it. If anything, we have to sell him for peanuts. Again, to get away from the situation, if that makes sense. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Why can't we work with Alba? I don't think if the Lukaku coming, the talks about Lukaku coming back is as a result of us being desperate. It's just people linking our current goal drought situation to Lukaku scoring two, and you know how things work at Chelsea. If that makes sense. Good morning from Michael. Michael, good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And Rashid Tan, okay, congratulations to you. And truthfully, you guys are really doing well. There's no question about that. And I'm happy for you. Again, I know you're a Manchester United fan. This is again big up to you too. Um, the New York man, the New York guy. Big up to you, Kishon. I hope you're doing well. More importantly, so yes, again, quite a lot to talk about. Some interesting issues. One with regards to the gossip from the Chelsea camp, saying how some of the old players or the established players in the sport, how they don't think the new signings are, they're good enough for Chelsea. Well, that's an interesting discussion. And if you're interested, I want to get your thoughts about that. It sounds again, it sounds like just the media seeing that again, whatever current topic that they've pushed out regarding Chelsea Football Club, that topic in question is dying down gradually. So they need something else to work with. And the gossip the established players in the sport, they're about they're not happy. They're questioning the ability of the new signings. It's an interesting thing, interesting topic. That when you have it out there, a lot of people will want to read it. Uh, but it doesn't make sense because they're never going to tell you who said what. It will always be again the person that told us that make sure that we guarantee that we're never going to say their name. So it's all nonsense the way I see it, but it's an interesting talk because the question is they themselves uh, were they that good that we even decided to go to for new players. To me, it's a question of if anything like that happened, the question it'd be that the fact would be that they're concerned about their place in the team, so they're trying to find excuses to make it look like we've signed bad players. Chelsea players having free day again. How do you see that? Again, I read that myself, and if you paid attention to the report, there's a legitimate reason for that. At least that's what we're told, that they had to rest them given recent, you could say recent barrage of again injuries or village of injured players. So they're trying to be as cautious as possible not to get to a situation where we have at this again you could say pivotal or you could say uh, important time again in the season. We don't have too many games. But any game you lose now again, it gets worse for you. So maybe it's believable to say, yeah, we're trying to rest players. We don't want them to start getting injured again, and then we'll find ourselves in a situation where we still have a village of injured players. So it's believable. But some people, I've seen people ask the question, shouldn't the players be training much again, a lot now that we need to be winning more games? I don't know. They've done their calculations. Maybe they feel like the best way to approach the end of the season, again, the season from now on, excuse me, the best way to approach the season from now on would be to ensure that no other player gets injured. To me, I don't want to get into that argument because you could argue maybe they're doing the right thing, but I'm not too sure really. If you ask me my opinion, again, big up, Blues, big up to you too, Mikhail. Always nice to see you. I know you're probably on your way to or getting ready to work or on your way to work right now, but always nice to see you in the chat. Big up Kuchila, big up chat, like and subscribe. Have no time for Romelu Lukaku. Gobaku. Yeah, Gobaku indeed. Yeah, let's go from what again? Look who's back to again Romelu Gobaku again. Please let's discuss something else. Barca got beaten. Always nice to see that. After spending the whole money, they've been horrible in Europe. Um, Xavi's record in Europe, I don't think they keep him if it continues like that. I know if you know Barca's history too well, you'd know that they'd rather falter in the league and win the Champions League. Yeah, but of course they'd want to do better in the league and also in Europe. But that hasn't happened for them for a while now. But I get where you're coming from. The Lukaku discussion surfaced again, so we need to talk about it because there's a chance Inter would say they don't want him. I don't know whether what Inter are doing if they're trying to play games again the way they're doing, saying he's overweight and all that nonsense, saying they're not sure of his performance, saying they will leave a discussion about renewing his loan spell at the club till the end of the season and all that. I think there's a chance it's all game. It's all they're just playing their cards right, so that at the end of the day, if they say they want him on a permanent, they get him for a peanut money. If that makes sense, again, Bali is buying toys and dolls for Chelsea players. He wants to make them again very comfortable. You could argue that the reason why we're hearing about all those things they're doing may well be because they want to distract us a bit. I don't know if that makes sense to you because again, there's so much issue. Again, the fans are unsettled, so they would want us to start talking about something else and not be that much concerned about the team's performance. If Kante comes back and we start winning, people say without Kante, Chelsea is nothing. I think that's the truth, actually, given the quality of players we have now. But again, I'll get everything we have in the chat and we'll start taking the topics one by one, if that makes sense. Eugene Naughty, nice to see you. And by the way, again, how's everybody doing? Santiago Muniz, Michael, how are you doing? Rashtan, I hope you're doing well. Keshan, the New York bro, I hope you're doing well. Again, my brother from Kenya, Mr. Happiness is for free. I hope you're doing well. And MC, Mikhail, my brother, I hope you're doing well. Zalani, I hope you're doing well. And all of you, again, I hope you're all doing well. And Eugene Naughty, for me, Ferran Torres is perfect option to play false nine at Chelsea. But we don't have Ferran Torres right now. We don't have Ferran Torres, and we're not looking at him. Also, Nkunku, but we're going to, again, make another mistake and throw away money. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. I says again, please remove go back a picture. We cannot stand to look at him. Yeah, it's painful. He's the elephant in the room. You always come up one way or the other. And people, thank you so much for 31 likes already. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ferran Torres, Okay, you go. I'm not going to read that one because I want to go to heaven. And to my bro, Nee from Blue Clouds Media. Nee's, again, Blue Clouds Media is going to be one of the fastest growing YouTube channels right now. And you want to be part of the growth. You don't want, when he gets to 100,000, 150,000 before you subscribe to his channel. So if you haven't, click the three dots by his name, by the right side of his name. Again, you see options, then you see go to channel, go subscribe to that channel. You want to be part of it. And again, Rashid 10, you have to go subscribe to this channel because it talks about every football club, not just Chelsea Football Club. Although he's a Chelsea fan, he's Chelsea through and through. He bleeds blue, but he talks about every other club, and you want to be part of it. Big up to you, Mike Kuchila, and everyone a part of the Blue family. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. And always nice to see, even though you should be preparing for your show, you always find time to come support your brother. So thank you. That means a lot to me. Afternoon, all. They could have given the players a near injury the rest of the days and get the orders in to train. Otherwise, should stop using players need to gel as an excuse. I think that argument that Dexter makes sense. And if you're in the chat, let me give you a particular topic to talk about. I want to know, what do you think about the partial training, about the whole players not training? And again, and if you're well acquainted, if you're well acquainted with, again, with the players that are not involved in training, you let me know. I want to know. And why do you think? Does that make sense to you? Or do you think all the players should be training because we need to win the next game? Because right now, if we lose against Tottenham, the question will always come up: why didn't they all train? It's a London derby. Everybody should be, again, all boots should be on the ground. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Again, I get confused every time there's one decision or the other. Explain why, Ferenters. You please slug it out with him, and I'm not going to get into that conversation. Glenn, big up news. Hope everyone is having a good Friday so far. To me, again, maybe because of the coffee that I've had, I'm well out. I'm very awake right now. Maybe it's a very strong coffee. Maybe, yeah. Let me say, the day is starting well for me until I get into all the, because the programs I have for the day. Then I'll know. But so far, it's good. It's still 4:23 a.m. for me. But Glenn, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Don't wish your intention on 130 kg man who cannot run. But he was the one that saved the day for them. So the question I want to ask, is he really overweight? He doesn't look overweight to me. But I'm not saying he should come back to Chelsea. But I'm just concerned the situation, the way things are going, and the way Inter. I think they're just playing with us. They're just playing with us. They just want to get him on a cheap, again, on a peanut fee, if that makes any sort of sense to you. But let's see what happens. Even if that's what we end up doing, I take it rather than have him back at the club. He's very toxic already. He divided the dressing room. Plus, he's on a wage that I don't think anybody else at the club will be earning, except Kante will be the only player close to that, to Lukaku's current salary. If Kante ends up extending, of which I want that to happen because he's the most important player at the club after losing a character like Rudiger and even Jorginho. So we still need somebody like Ngolo Kante, even though he's not the most vocal, but he leads by example, if that makes sense. Again, yeah, he's cracking you up, right? Greetings again, saying hello to Mika. Hope family is doing wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Again, please wait. Let's see. Wait for what? The second bot I'm experimenting with. The chat robot. I don't know why he's saying please wait. Wait for what? Again, much love to everyone. Big up everyone. Martin CEO. I hope you're doing well. Again, if you're in the chat, like I said, I want to get your opinion on, again, the partial training. What do you make of it? Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it makes sense, given the argument that they just don't want to, overuse players and then have them go again, get injured again, and then we'll have a list of injured players. I want to get your thoughts on that. Lukaku is 103 kg of complete muscle or so, he says. Okay. Yeah, Blue Blood, big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Coach, do you feel Kante can play game in, game out anymore? Here's the thing. What I'm going to say is this: Kante should be again. He should be put in that category of players who their age don't really matter. Who you can because they are 1 in a million. They're very unique. The way they play, their talent. You can't find anybody in world football that you can say are able to do what they're capable of doing. So in that sense, it only means Kante. You should find a way. You as a coach should find a way to accommodate Kante. I believe he can play again, game in, game out. I think he can still do that, but he has to change his approach. He doesn't have to get you have to demand that he run less than usual. But again, if that's the case, uh, if you have to do that to accommodate Kante, the question again we have to ask is this: is he will he be sorry, I want to do this again. Yeah, will he still be that effective? Because Kante, again, since I've known him, since I've gotten to understand him as a player, you could say the predominant factor that defines his ability as a player is the amount of running he does. So as much as I argue he falls into that category of players that includes the likes of Luka Modric, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva, but in his case it's not his technical ability that defines again. That is not the predominant factor that defines his playing ability. It is the amount of running he does, and also again his ability to read the game. But the question, my point is, will he still be that effective without running that much? If I'm saying, since I'm arguing managers should demand that he runs less, so I'm not sure how that is going to work. But that's by the weekend. I have Roger in the house. Roger, good to hear that you're doing a better. It's a good thing to have you back. More importantly, I'm happy to hear that you're better. If can weigh in on this one? Do you think Kante can play game in game out anymore? I think he can, but in a different manner, not running too much. Then the question is, will he still be effective if he doesn't run that much? So your thoughts, Roger?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. I know it's noon where you are. Apologies,
Yeah, no problem. How's your weather there, by the way, quickly?
It's ups and down.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go from being a bit warm to boom. It's like yeah, too cold. Kids won't play outside.
Yeah, I heard it's brutal on the West Coast right now.
It is. It is indeed.
Yeah. Getting back to Kante, this is an issue and a question that I've been wanting to discuss for a long time now.
And it's not that simple.
No, it's not.
Mhm,
It's just my opinion. I think he's our best player, regardless of position.
mhm,
Hopefully that still is the case. He's brilliant because of twofold. You're right. One, his ability to read the game, and two, he's just a tackling machine. You know, and he,
and three, the amount of running he does.
yeah, yes, and yeah, of course. Here's the deal, though. You're right. I think we have to moderate his game time, and I think perhaps we have to moderate how many minutes he plays per game. Like he can't be playing two 90-minute games a week. Simple as
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
Maybe 260 or 270, or 190 and maybe rest in the next game. It's simple as
mhm.
that. We have to be judicious with which how we approach him. It's that simple. Um, do I think he'd be as effective by not running as much? That's a little bit like handcuffing, but yeah, I believe we can say you need to stay deeper and not go forward as much. I think that's possible, but we also don't want to handcuff him too much because that could indeed affect the way he reads the game.
Yeah,
And
because let's assume he reads again a situation very well, and but again, he needs to do some running
yes,
to
it's part of his
ensure that it's,
game.
yeah, exactly. So to ensure to stop the situation in its track, without running, he won't be able to do that. So that's why I'm arguing. As much as I argue, he falls into the category of then Luka Modric and all those players we've mentioned. Those what
No, they're
define
not
their
though.
yeah, those again, their technical ability, vision, and all those things define their playing ability overall. But in this case, running is very important. But go ahead, I'll let you
I think
find the solution there.
I'd like to see the statistics, but from just the eye test, per se. If you look at a Luka Modric, I don't think he puts in nearly half as much kilometers slash miles as
Mhm,
Ngolo does.
mhm,
He like a Luka, a world class. He would be a Hall of Famer if there is such a thing in football. He would be a Hall of Fame player because he's so technical. He distributes the ball. He's an amazing player, but his forte is not tackling. While you look at N'Golo, it's the opposite. They are diametrically opposed. He is not that technical on the ball. Sufficient, don't get me wrong, but his forte is tackling and reading the game. Even though he's not as Bobby would say, a true destroyer, he is a very sophisticated player with regards to his tackling technique. The way he does it, he's unique. There's no other player that I've ever seen that tackles in this regard. He's a wonder to behold. Uh, I just, he's irreplaceable in that regard. Like everyone's saying, look, we're so different without Reece, but let's be honest, we're so different without this chap first and foremost. I rate him highly to the extent as that we are a completely different team without him. It's at least since he's come to the club, what, 4, 5, 6 years ago, however long it is now. To
mhm.
me, he is the number one person on that team sheet when healthy,
He
and
is,
that's
and
simple.
here's the thing: it's something we've already talked about here. Is again
Am I
one
wrong?
player. No, you're not wrong. He's one player
Yeah.
that since he's joined us, I don't know any trophy that again all the trophies we've won since he joined us. I don't. You cannot mention any and say he wasn't pivotal to us winning it. Even to those
Yes.
that we got to the finals
Exactly.
and lost, you could argue, his importance. You cannot argue against that really.
Coach,
And I
he's
get the
he's
argument that he's not. Again, he's not. He wasn't. Again, traditionally he's an eight. But
yes.
his ability to read the game, managers have used him in a way that he's actually done better than the so-called destroyers. If you ask most people, they tell you Kante is a DM. Even it took a while for me to look again to understand and hear people say he isn't a DM to start paying attention. It's just because managers prioritize that again, his ability to read the game, the amount of running he does, and how he breaks up opposition play. Then they play him in positions in a way that you think he's a DM, or just because of what he does on the pitch. Yeah, but that's by the way. Thank you for answering that. I'm going to bring Bobby into that discussion before I try to catch up what we have in the chat.
Hello,
Bobby,
Bobby.
it's this here from Mikhail. And Bobby, more importantly, good afternoon to you. I hope you're getting better and better and better. If you're fully fit or fine, again, that's even better for us. The question is again from Mikhail, our friend and brother. It says again, do you feel Kante can play game in, game out anymore?
Big up, guys. I hope you
Big
can
up
hear
to
me.
you. Your sound is a bit muffled. I think you're far away from your microphone, or there's something in between you and your mic.
I'm very much on the move, so I don't know. When I settle a bit more, I'll try and fix it.
Bobby, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, something is happening with your sound system.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh,
Okay, go ahead. While you're preparing to fix it, I'm going to keep reading. If you come back, I'll bring you back to this here. And smash the like button, people. Smash and subscribe. 40 likes. Let's get into 100 as soon as possible. We can do better than that. We haven't hit 300 likes since the transfer window shut. Guys, again, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, says my brother. Again, you participate in the voting. Yep, thank you so much for saying that kindly. Again, please, like I said, again, Blue Class Media is going to be the fastest growing YouTube channel, and you want to be part of it right now. Go check out my brother's YouTube channel by clicking on the three dots by his name. Go to channel, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, Bobby, looks like it sounds better now right now. Let's hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you
much
hear me
better.
now?
Yeah, let's get
No.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. What were we asking about? N'Golo Kante.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
sir.
from Mikhail. He asked the question, a very important question. We're going to get into talking about his importance. He says, Coach, do you feel Kante can play game in, game out anymore?
No. I think he has to be managed. Not that he has to be treated like he's made of glass, because
Mhm.
I don't think he'll ever be that kind of player. But what we were doing before playing him twice a week, 3 times a week, then he goes to France and plays. That has to stop.
Yes.
I don't know what this no training is indicating, and the fact that 2 training sessions this week was cancelled because of mindfulness to people coming back from injury. If that sort of mindfulness to injury is going to be what we're going to be looking at, then Ngolo will definitely benefit from that. If you're able to use him once a week, it'll be great. And this is why, yet again, my favorite word, squad depth, matters. He has to not be missed too much when he's not playing.
Mhm.
Um, that just has to be. Managing him is the key. If you manage N'Golo Kante well, his career could be stretched considerably. But if you don't and you fall into this temptation, like all the managers do, because he's so good, they're desperate to use him, game in, game out. He's just going to fold up again. And being older now, that's going to be easier to happen than when he was in his 20s.
Mm. Yeah, why were that? I think we should transition into his importance, but let me catch up with what we have in the chat here. That's an important question from Mikhail, and thank you for asking that, Mikhail. What else do we have here? Big up to Francis with us. Francis Winter, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And Chelsea, all the way. Big up to Chilla, chat and panel. Big up to you too, brother. And Jump Out Entertainment, it's been a minute. How have you been? Let me know that you're doing well. That will make me happy. Let's see, can passion training again. How our standards has dropped as a club. Porter is not a builder to manage a top club like us. Tottenham will outrun us off the pack. Again, we'll get to that again. I think we have to talk about the passion training again. It doesn't really make sense to me, but if they argue that they're trying to manage the players so as to avoid them getting injured, and again, and we'll have again, because a village of injured players again, it makes sense. Good morning, Ken, my beautiful Chelsea fan. Good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Coachella, partial training because club is scared of injuries. It doesn't make sense. There are over 30 players at Porto's disposal at the moment, so injuries shouldn't be an issue. Shambolic, we'll get to that. Again, we'll talk about the partial training in a bit. Kante is finally back, but he's not playing anytime soon. I don't think so. Kante is Kante again, elite baller. That's the truth again. But the question is, will he be the same without his space? Martin CEO says again, I have concerns over our training. I have investigated Porter's former Brighton training drills, posted on IG yesterday, and see a big shift in training style. I need him to go back to what worked for him. So I'm not sure if he's changing methods because he wants to, because the new physios are advising him to follow a certain routine to reduce the injury list. I'm not sure if that's the case. Gobaku typing, I'm not coming back. Again, what about who? Paris, again, I don't know the players in question. You go ahead and talk about him. Kante is nothing without the space. Again, Chelsea had more days off than Ghost scored this year. Potter needs to go in and manage in the league, in the League One. Again, that's his level. He gives me against Scolari's it's a Scolari. How do you Scolari's vibes? Showing up for training at midday for an hour, then deeps. Really, I don't remember how I don't remember the training routine under Felipe Scolari. I've forgotten. It's been a while. Again, what about we're talking again? I don't want to be switching the topics right now. The day off isn't a good thing. Our players should have at least worked on less intense special tactics. Yeah. So again, it gets confusing. I'm not sure why that is the case. Let's see what we have here. I know. Okay, they're having a conversation there, and I'm not going to get in between that. Let me see if there's anything else to address. If not, we'll just move on from that. Luka Modric again, a Croatian masterclass. He is. Yup, again, if Kante was fit, Potter should be looking good right now. Coach, again, it seems people keep saying Roger is Potter's lawyer. Whenever someone interrupts him or argues, I want you to go order.
Really?
I want you to go order. Okay, I'll do. I'll do that. Kante
Order.
is it's a midfielder. Simple. Bobby is under the water. Yeah, that was what it sounded like, Ben. But he's fixed it again. Let me see anything else to address here. 20 minutes per game, max. No. Then you might as well let him go. Again, you lads know why Ngolo Kante doesn't have Twitter, right? He already follows you. That makes sense because he is everywhere. And big up to you, Chama. Again, good day, everyone. Chama, Joseph, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Kachila and Pana, good day. Good day to you too. Again, I doubt in quality of Wesley Fofana. Okay, that's you can 3-4-1-2. That's a structure that accommodates a 10. 4-3-2-1. 4-3-2-1, does that accommodate the 10? No. 2-8. It accommodates 2-8, but the first one, if he decides to play a 3 at the back structure with a 3 at the back structure, then it'd be the first option there because he has an option to accommodate the 10, if that makes sense. Roger, again, I don't know. Let's talk about the importance of Kante. We will go back to the issue of let's go back to the issue of partial training. Your thoughts? What do you think? Does it make sense to you, or do you think? I don't know. You explain.
Well, I'm a bit befuddled, to be honest with you, but as I assumed last time, I read that why he didn't start several players or didn't even have those players in the squad, like a Silva, like a Reese, is because he had gone. Because this is what they do: they meet a couple of times a week in all teams, medical staff, training staff, and sometimes or players, and give their input, their honest input, and that's what transpired. Based on the fact that they go over the minutes, the type of runs they make, the amount of sprints, etc., and they're trying to minimize. So they've obviously, this is at the forefront now, where they can see that they have an inordinate amount of injuries this season. And why is that? And a lot of it is to younger players, not just more mature players or the wrong side of 30, as they say. So therefore, they're trying to address it. Maybe they are overtraining. Maybe they've looked at their training regimen and are modifying it accordingly. So, listen, if he is listening to input from the medical staff, I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. Because after all, that's their field. They're SMEs, subject matter experts in that respective field. So they probably reviewed what has transpired and acted accordingly. So there's nothing. Now, if that isn't the case, and for whatever reason they have cut short training sessions or taken them all out, then I don't know why. Then that wouldn't make sense. So, as I suspected previously, he's going on the advice from the medical staff, and I assume this is what's transpiring once more. So I have no problem with that at all. Because obviously, listen, we have been decimated this year. So that it's about time they addressed it. Question is, why didn't they address this sooner? That to me is
so. Is it to an extent, even if they're talking, let's talk about the partial training a bit. Does it make sense for the players not to train at all? It's not like it's a partial training. Maybe they should train, light training because
sure,
I don't know how it's
in the NFL they call it walkthrough, where you just basically walk through. I know they don't run patterns, they don't run like the route tree and so forth. So they could go through and just walk through and just like in a 4-2-3-1, they could be in that and just talk about, what to do and where to go. So, and also they could have chalkboard tutorials too about if you're in this position, what do you do? I think that needs to be addressed also. I'm assuming they do that also. So if they are cutting short the intensive training, then one would hope so. One would hope that they're actually doing what in the States they call walkthrough training and also chalkboard training. I hope that's the case. I hope they just haven't sent them home and said, "Hey, good luck with your PlayStations tonight." I hope that's not the case.
Good luck with what?
Your PlayStation, whatever game you want to play on your PlayStation,
Go
it's
have some fun with it.
yeah. I hope that's not the case because it's
Again,
not like
let me say,
it's
I
not like
strongly believe. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's not like Chelsea are 20 points clear of the Premier League and they've mathematically clinched the title. No, in case you hadn't noticed, we're kind of languishing mid-table, literally. So I hope that's not the case. I really do.
Yeah, I do hope. I do hope the same too.
That would be dereliction
Again,
of duty.
honestly, I don't know. We don't we don't live together, so I'm not sure where just Viola is. I have to tell you that. Kante
You
needs
know, coach. You
I
know.
don't really. Kante needs someone besides him who is strong defensively to share a workload. Enzo, when we are looking to go forward and score, then we are comfortable and want to lock the middle pair him again and want to lock the middle pair him. Punctuation is causing me an issue there. Pair him with Zakaria. I think Zakaria would be a good pairing with him. But Zakaria himself, they
Yes.
seem again their you can say their behavior on the pitch doesn't differ because Zakaria, it's not your stereotypical DM. He's a bit more like Enzo. Again, the flash, the dribbling, again, ability to beat the space, but he likes to have the independence to be adventurous rather than sit. You'd be wasting his talent if that's the case. So,
Coach, what is Zakaria's status right now?
he's been back in training. There's no way telling. Nobody has told us anything. We don't know whether he's match ready. I know that's your question. So
Yeah.
we're not sure. Only the manager's selection will tell. Today is the press conference, probably if it hasn't happened already.
He was on the
When?
bench against Southampton.
Was
Yeah,
he
so
really?
exactly. So,
I can't remember.
yeah, so possibly he's match ready.
I hope he is.
Yeah, I hope he is again. Pairing him with Enzo and ask him to be a bit more disciplined. I think that could help. I don't know, but I don't think he's traditionally he likes to venture forward. He likes to be adventurous, if that makes sense. Let me see. Ngolo Kante previously lost faith in the club and former managers because they told him to keep playing through knocks and when he wasn't fit. That's some statement right there. That's something we've always talked about here. How we contributed to him not always being fit because he's been so important to us and also to the French national team. The slightest he recovers, they pull him back into the fold. Again, the Champs did it, and we did it. Even Lampard did it. Thomas Tuchel did it.
We're all guilty, yeah.
Yeah, again, he hasn't played a single game under Graham Potter. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, I think you're very correct. We're the reason why he suffered the way he did. We didn't. He was so. He's been so important to us. We don't give him breathing space. Hopefully, since he's gone under the knife, hopefully he's dealt with the issue once and for all, and he never come back again. I hope that's the case. Again, a film room. Yeah, let them go have some fun there. Again, 4-3-2-1 with two behind. That's when it's 2-8. Again, with 2-8. Again, strikers as 2 10s, okay, or 8 again as Felix can play as one of the 8s or 10s. Wow. Again, you could call it 10s. Again, I think it all depends on the application. Maybe football played in their minds and on chalkboards and not on grass. We are doomed. I think we'll be fine, but I get your argument. Again, if they are scoring on FIFA 2023, then they might take that confidence in onto the pitch. Again, okay, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm trying to hold myself, and that's hilarious. But I get the argument there, Roger, and that was directed at you.
No, I got it.
Since you're saying go enjoy your FIFA. Oh my goodness. Ngolo Kante again needs to retire from international football.
He has,
I don't think he'd do so. I don't think he'd do that because he's so loyal to his country. If they call him, he'd go.
Oh, coach, hasn't he? I thought he retired from international. No. Oh, you're joking.
At any time, no, I don't think he's done that.
Oh,
but correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But correct me if Ngolo Kante did, it'd be everywhere.
Yeah,
It was It was Varane that retired.
It was a Varane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was
Hello
Varane.
there.
Yeah, because if
But
Kante again has
Ngolo should do it
retired
as
from
well.
international football, I wouldn't. Again, I would second guess my answer. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. I don't think he'd retire. He's so loyal to his country. If they call him, he'd answer. Coach Zakaria can play as a DM. I know he can, but even as a DM, he has that tendency to venture forward. And in defense, he's done that again a while in Germany. But you'll be wasting his time if you play him as a CB, because again, maybe if you want again a ball playing CB, you use him. Coach, again, this is serious. Again, Porter is at it. It's an agent. I don't know. His lawyer would tell us that. Let me go to IBC. Let's start with the importance of Ngolo Kante. Let's finish that aspect. Except if you want to talk about the partial training first, you go ahead. But whatever you choose.
Oh, good morning, guys. I haven't really got out to say, I just wanted to just catch in, say hello, happy Friday, get ready for the weekend. I've been hearing the reports on Ngolo staying, and that's positive news. If any news I've got from
And how important do you think it'd be for us for the rest of the season?
Depending on how fit he is. He hasn't played for the whole season, more or less for the major part. So I can't expect him to cram what he's missed into what we need. So he will need to be eased back. I can't expect him to get to his best. He's been out for 7 months. That's a long time, bro. So my only.
So it would take a while before he's fully fit.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. But just to see him back on the pitch, just to see him finishing games, or not being injured is a positive for me. And I know that without long, we'll still have enough in the tank for Ngolo to give us something. So yeah, that's my take on him.
So your overall argument is that we shouldn't be expecting too much for him because he's been out for a while. I think that makes sense.
Not the first 3 or 4 games, yeah.
No, like what? Season finishes in May. We're in March, give or take. I mean, we'll give him the whole of March to bed in, April to find his feet. Yeah, we'll probably see him do bits for us towards the end of the season. Yeah. But again,
here's the thing. Again, I think that's a solid argument. It's common sense. But I still say, again, maybe we'll see. He's one of the only players I've seen coming in a game, again, just 15 minutes before the end of the game on 2 occasions for us and win man of the match. So maybe his case will be different, but I doubt that. It only makes sense that, he hasn't played for a while, so he can come back to his best. Your thoughts, it's just, again, IBC's argument is always, again, the devil's advocate, or the one to always tell it as it is. If I'm being honest here, we shouldn't overestimate his importance, but we should. I'd say also we shouldn't underestimate his importance. As much as, again, I agree he hasn't played for a while. I think he'll still be of great importance for us going again for the rest of the season. But your thoughts? How important is it going to be for us?
Who are you asking, Coach?
Roger, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You, Roger.
Yeah. I think IBZ nailed it. He hit it on the head. I think realistically, it's going to take him 3 or 4 games to get up to quote unquote match speed. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it earlier, but I don't think we should expect otherwise. And if that does transpire, then you know what, we're fortuitous. But other than that, you can say, let's say the end of March, the next 4 games, of which is March, he's basically going to have cameo appearances, and then so April and May, the last 2 months. So you're looking at, let's say, 10 to 12 games left. Hopefully, if we go further in the Champions League plus, then 10 to 12 games plus, then you'll see him at full pace. But we should use him judiciously. That's the most important thing. And basically, this should be a long pre-season for him, so that next year he comes back strong and is used not in the sense that he was used before. I totally agree with IBZ. Totally.
And hopefully, since he's gone under the knife, hopefully he's dealt with the situation permanently.
What was this? Was it for the hamstring?
Yeah, I think it's been reoccurring for a while, and again, that's the only major injury he's had for a long time. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he had to go under the knife. I think it's a hamstring or so. He had to go under the knife to correct it because he
Yeah,
could
so
have
it's a
waited
first
over
degree
it.
tear. Yeah.
Yeah, he made the decision to go under the knife since it was clear he wasn't going to be fit enough in the World Cup. So he had to now just go under the knife. So the decision was like, okay, I might as well just go under the knife and take care of it once and for all. Hopefully that will be the case because again, I'm happy at the club. They're pushing for him to stay. If anything, even if, like you said, Roger, you did mention maybe this will be the preseason for 23-24 season. The games he play now, it'd be very important for us. Is that special type of player, very unique.
He's unique. Yeah.
Nobody's like him. If
No.
that makes sense. Let me catch up with the chat. I'll bring in Bobby to weigh in on the importance of Kante. You wanted to say something else?
No. I was just about to say he's so unique. There's no other player like him.
It doesn't look like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no other player. Again, was watching a Tuchel Chelsea compilation video. Nearly forgot what happened looked like. I get where you're coming from, O'Neil Diaz. Again, people, thank you so much for 57 likes. Let's try and get it to shoot for 100 by the time the show ends. We started 1 hour late, but that's fine. Again, I had to kind of rest a bit more because I lots of run around yesterday for me to be fully ready for the show. Kante will be match fit again sometime in March. Again, it makes sense that March is a good time. Again, it's not too late. We still have again a lot of games to play from that then onward. And Danny Music, it's been a minute. Danny Music, I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know. I'll see you in a while. Yeah. So again, what's why again Manchester United fan in the chat? Okay, doing. Yeah, Rashi, don't be a troll because they're gonna ban you. If you troll, they're gonna ban you. Lusala, I hope you're doing well. Again, please do let us know. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi again, is Santos finally joining Chelsea? He's joined Chelsea. The question is, what are we gonna do? But we get to that topic in a bit. Okay, good for you. I hope he beats Spurs. Santos again is a Chelsea player, but does not have a work permit. So again, trying to send him on loan, but that also has fallen through. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let me see what else we have here. What do we have again? Kante's last game. Kante's last game was against. I think it was Tottenham. Yep, I think it was against Tottenham. Yep. Let me see what else we have here. You guys should slug it out with him. So, Bobby, I'm coming to you right now. Your thoughts, the importance of Ngolo Kante. Again, how important is it for us or for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just to correct that the loan for Santos hasn't fallen through. It's in negotiation. I think Palmeiras is the preferred club, and there's another Brazilian club, I think, in Independiente, something like that. Or is that where we got Kendry from? I can't remember. But
Vasco.
The issue is that we want to get him just on loan till June, and the Brazilians want to keep him till December, which corresponds.
So why are the reports using the term off? They're saying the loan proposed loan to Ramirez is off.
Okay,
but
well, if they've said it off, that's probably because
you're updating us. You're telling us it's not off yet. That's what I'm saying. They're just confusing people. Go ahead, Bobby.
If it is off, then that means that they were insisting on him being on loan till December, and Chelsea don't want that. We want him back in June for pre-season. As for N'Golo Kante, well, it's almost strategic if he's able to be fit by the end of March. But it's important to keep alive in the Champions League, so he really has something to come back to. I hope we are in the later stages. It'll be interesting if then we start getting our injuries back, because I think we are due having a fit squad. I mean, we've suffered so much from injuries for such a long time, I don't think any club can take any pride if they have had any successful results against Chelsea because they weren't playing against Chelsea. They were playing against Chelsea B and in many cases even Chelsea
See,
C.
yep.
So it'll be interesting if we get our injuries back, what the situation would be. I can assure you it will be very, very, very different. Imagine a situation having a fit in midfield, Kante, Zakaria, Kovacic, and Enzo, with Ruben hanging around there somewhere. I mean, that completely changes the complexion of our approach to games. Um, Defensively, having Reese Fitz, Fofana, and Chilwell, those are huge, huge, huge things. So let's see. Potter has a lot to do, and he has, as you said, these 3 games are very big for him. But yeah, Kante coming back would be helpful. However, someone did say he hasn't played for 7 months. That is a long time, and I don't expect, even in March, for him to be out there doing 90 minutes. I think you have to give him bits. He's very good when you bring him on towards the tail end of games where the other leg, I mean, he's energetic enough as it is. He just kills them when they're tired and he's just coming on full of energy. So, yeah, of course, it's something to look forward to and hope it works out.
Yeah, I hope it works out. I'm gonna go to Bob Rigo in a bit. I'm sorry, that's what I'm gonna be calling you from now on. But let me see
No
what we
worries.
have here. I think the rest of the season is a training session now, especially for Ngolo Kante, just like Roger said. O'Neil Diaz, nice to see you again. I hope you can subscribe to the channel already and also drop the like on the video. Let's hit 100 likes as soon as possible. Porter should use Kante only in a midfield of three rather than two with a DM, say Zach behind him as Enzo again with a four at the back. Wow, and that's some suggestion there. But Rodrigo, your thoughts to you, how important do you think Kante will be for us for the rest of the season? And again, like I said before, I think we shouldn't overestimate what he's going to bring because he hasn't played for a while. And thanks, again, I'm doing a tap in here from what IBZ explained, and it makes sense. It's common sense. He hasn't played for a while, but we
Yeah.
shouldn't also underestimate what he's capable of again doing because he's a special player. But your thoughts?
Yeah. Big up everyone and big up.
Big
Hello.
up to you, Rodrigo.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know what's funny? There's a lot of discord around Kansas. And there people saying, "Oh, he's finished. He shouldn't be getting that. He shouldn't getting the
The
money
new
that
deal.
he shouldn't." Yeah. But now I'm hearing a lot of the people that want Porter to stay. They're like, "Oh, Kante back. Oh, we miss Kante. Oh, that which I find so funny." Like, all right, so you're pinning your hope on this guy that you call finish, that you wanted to get rid of to save your manager. Oh, I mean our manager, but to save.
Oh, Freudian slip there, old bean.
No, right? I'm not. I'm not. Are you a Spurs in disguise?
We have that on tape. I love it.
Yeah, no. In terms of, yeah, I agree with, yeah, we don't expect Kante to come back. Like I agree with what Bobby said toward the end is that Kante is good to bring in like toward the tail end of a game. So I think I only expect Kante to probably play full 90, maybe in April. I'm looking at that Liverpool game at home. Maybe that's the game I would want him to be fully fit and stuff. But until then, he should just come in, play the last maybe 10, 15 minutes to get his fitness back up, and hopefully that's gonna change our outlook of game. One thing that Potter needs, I don't know if it's appropriate to mention this now, but one thing I want Potter to do is to start games a bit on a front foot, man. I don't like this
No,
timid approach.
that's you can go ahead with it if you want to talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So he's been starting on the back foot.
Yeah, I always feel like we always start games like we give the opposition too much respect. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we need to change that. We can't like like the Southampton game, for example. We gave them
You
way
know who
too.
I'm going to get to respond to that, right? So just go
Wonder
ahead.
Yeah, but regardless of that, I think Kante is a big boost to the squad. Having him and having Rhys James back fully fit, Ben Chilwell is getting his minute. I think our team is gonna look good, but I still have to worry about our approach to games because you might have all these players, but if the coach doesn't approach games properly, you will still struggle. So hopefully he's learning his lesson. He need to he need to approach this first game like a cup final because his job depend on it. Well, depend on it
Mm.
from the fans' perspective. I think the owners will give him time, but for to win the fans, he has to approach this game like a cup final. And I hope he's preparing for a very good performance. And I think as for the Brazilian kid, I think they have a club. I
Hmm.
think Bobby was looking for is Vasco da Gama. That's the club. That's the other club that also
No
looking.
longer. Vasco da Gama also interested. His former club.
Yes,
Are they
yeah.
still in this again? Are they still in the second division?
No. They got promoted. He helped them to promotion.
So it will make sense. I think it will make perfect sense for him to go back
Yeah.
on loan there.
yeah.
I think they'll better respect his talent because they
yeah.
know him
The
very
other
well. Yeah.
the other thing is apparently Chelsea want him to go to the under 20 World Cup. I think that World Cup is in, I don't know, it might be in June or May, something like that. But obviously that's during the Brazilian Championship league season. So Chelsea want the club that wherever he goes to, they should release him to go to the under 20 World Cup, and obviously also to come back to Chelsea for pre-season. So maybe that's what some of the clubs are looking at and say, no, you know what I mean. That's probably why some club probably want to keep him till December when where the league finishes. I think the league finishes in December.
Hmm.
That's the issue we might be facing with Andrey Santos.
Okay. Roger, you have any response? He mentioned your client, so go get him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you mean on the back foot. For the most part, I think most of our games, a lot of the teams are using low blocks. So I'm
We
not
use
sure.
low blocks.
No, they do.
Okay,
Go
go
ahead.
to the Southampton game. The first half of that Southampton game. Did you see how we were playing?
And was that the exception to the rule or the norm?
No, not actually every game. Apart from West Ham, every game we played, we seem to be reserved first. I think I don't know if he's trying to play us on a counter attack or what. We're not winning the ball high up enough.
No, I agree. I
Tempo
agree with
not
you
high.
on that. But that the two aren't mutually exclusive with regards to that. Because when you look at it, I would say like for the most part, yes, we only had 49% possession versus Southampton in the first half, and then the second half we had 72% possession.
That's by
So,
design.
right, but that's I think that's the exception. Most of the time, if you look at our percentage of possession, we have the majority, if not the vast majority, and we're attacking most. Like, and that is exemplified by the fact by our XG is greater than theirs. You
Totally.
know,
All right. Let me
I
catch up
don't
with
see it
chat.
that way.
Yeah. Let me catch up with the chat. I thought you were gonna come in swinging, but you didn't. You looks
No,
like you're not fully fit yet. So, but let's see. That's fine by me. Let's move on from that one. Porter should again use Kante only in midfield. I think I've read that one too. And Chelsea all the way here again. Let's stick with the current topic that we're talking about, please. We don't want to be going back and forth.
Yeah.
Again, Chilwell, Kukurea, Badiashile, Fofana, James, if Silva is rested again, Zach, Enzo, and Kante in midfield if fit attack sorts itself out. Solid foundation, then build the top. Okay, thank you for that. This is again a mentality problem. I don't want to be switching from again topic to topic. It can be exhausting, or it will make me to start again skipping your contributions in the chat. So let's stick with the current topic, please. In order for the Gaffer to prosper, he needs to find solutions to problems like injuries rather than again always complaints. Again, maybe part of the injury issue is resting players. I don't know. Porter always commenting about securing the top brass again support results matters. The Bluetooth game says again, I know Kante has a heat map that's hotter than hell itself, but expecting him to bail Potter out of the hole he's dug himself in will put him back in the hands of our useless physios after 16 minutes. I think that again, I get what you mean. That can you can say it supports IBC's argument that we shouldn't expect too much of Kante right now, and we should again play him. What's the term that Roger used? Let me just say sparingly. Again, because if we push him too hard, we may well just again send him back to the table, treatment table. The beautiful game through that. Yep. Again, big up to you to the breeze. Nice to see you. And I hope you're doing it well. Please do let us know. And Julius Armour, nice to see you, brother. It's been a minute. Blue afternoon to you, Kachila, and the rest of the panelists enjoying the stream as usual. Big up to you, Julius. It's been a minute. Please do let me know that you're doing well. Please again, has Kante is he fully fit? He's training with all the again with the team, but I don't know whether he's match fit. That's a different argument, a different question altogether, and I don't know. We had more possession in the second half versus Southampton because they were winning, so again they sat back. Same as versus Dortmund. Some argument right there. So. What else again? Let's get into. Do you want to say anything about the partial training, or you want us to move on?
Yeah, about the training. That's I don't know. I've never seen this. A team that's fighting. No, it's not fighting really. We don't see that. A team that's struggling with points. Taking maybe he's realized maybe we don't need to coach. I don't need to coach them. Maybe that's the better. He's tried coaching them. It's not working. Maybe the other solution is to just take days off. That way,
Really?
maybe that's gonna help.
Lame.
Okay, let me see. I think the client is looking for a fight in the chat. Again, Saran is Lukaku wants to be the main guy in any team. If he comes, if he becomes the main person of this team, it's like a players like Felix playing with 103 kg again. Sack again. 103 kg sack put on his back. Wow, and that's some statement right there. And the client is thinking, what are you talking about? Again, Kante training when there's not even training. No, we're not talking about whether there's training or not. I don't think that was what we talked about. But you just want to start a fight and you're not even in the ring. But that's by the way. More importantly, the clock. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always nice to see you. Let's talk about this one here. I really want us to talk about some of the stuff again I have put up there. Again, we have some some very important discussions coming up there lined up. Ty, by now I think you changed your avatar to suit your again Chelsea sessions and not Ty Talk CFC anymore. But that's by the way. Let's see what else do we have here. Give me 1 second. This one here, I don't know if it's important. If anybody wants to add to it, what he's again, maybe I want to ask Roger one question. I think it's into I don't know how to phrase it. I think it's probably we'll have an idea how important that is. Todd Barley is splashing out on a luxury chill out room. It's called okay. As Chelsea battles on the pitch crisis. Again, the new players lounge will include soft furnishings, and possibly video games. Designers are also decorating walls with motivational phrases.
Very Americanized.
Oh my goodness, this is delicious.
I think a lot of NBA
Roger,
teams,
go ahead. Yeah.
I think a lot of NBA teams did this also about a decade or so ago, or even longer, where it was so luxurious, their locker rooms. NFL teams not as much, but yeah, listen, long gone are the locker rooms that were in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, boring locker rooms.
Well, not even boring, they were just basic, fundamental.
Bland.
Now it's like you're going to the Ritz-Carlton. It's that different, or the Four Seasons.
So how important is this now? Because it sounds again, you can say it sounds like those are reporting it and making fun of it. The new players launch will include soft furnishings and possibly video games. Designers are also decorating walls with motivational phrases. It
Yeah,
is a
this is.
positive reinforcement is good. But again, do you think this? Do you think it works really?
I don't know about works, but listen, these players today are so different from 40, 50 years ago, where they actually, the old players used to actually have summertime
Where's the
jobs.
feedback coming from, please?
I have
The
no idea, but
Chelsea sessions.
No, I
basically,
think it was IBCs.
there were. Don't forget, in the 70s and the 60s, all these professional players actually had to get jobs to supplement themselves, like painter and decorators, etc., construction work. They were on average salary, like your median average salary of a normal person would have. So long are those days gone. These are, for all intents and purposes, and I mean this politely, but very small individuals where they're elite. They're socioeconomically in the top
Do you
0.1%.
think, Roger? Do you think
I
this?
try not to think. Gets me in trouble, OB.
Yeah. Do you think this obviously this is rubbing the people the wrong way because some people, to me at least,
Yeah.
I think it's
It
a big
rubbed,
issue
it
because the
rubbed people
results are
the
not
wrong
good.
way in America 10, 20 years ago also.
You know, what I'm saying
I
if the
think
results were good, people wouldn't really because it feels like it's like the rewarding mediocrity. But for me personally, I think this is a good thing. I don't see anything bad
I
with it.
think someone alluded it. I think someone alluded it to yesterday's stream. I don't think we needed to know this. I don't
Exactly. Yeah.
think,
So maybe
retrospectively, it's
it
not my
may
business.
well be
It's not my
by
business.
design to just distract us.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, if it's a saying you're redeveloping the bridge or not, yeah, this is what you were going to do anyway. So, eh, I don't really care respectfully what the players do during break time. I just care what they do on the pitch. So I didn't really need to know this news. So I don't really have an opinion. I can understand the frustration because results aren't going well. Then you said they're going to have an old luxury breakaway type. Yeah, it's fine. Every workplace will lose one. I mean, I've got one in my workplace where, if I need to sit out for a bit, I can go and sit there. It's pretty good. I can play this, I can play that. It's normal. It's at any workplace. So it's not really, it's never that deep. But I don't know why we needed to know. Just do it. Just get on with it. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we need to know this.
They
Again,
talk too.
it's actually comical, really, if
Yeah,
you
they
start
talk
paying
too much.
attention to it. Go ahead,
They,
Rodrigo.
these new owners, they talk too much. Imagine when we win our first trophy with these lot. Oh my lord, we're not gonna hear the last of it.
Yeah, it's interesting, really. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything to add to this one. Let me catch up with the chat and come back to you. If you cannot meet the standards, lower the standards, Potter is a clown. Again, here's the thing. I don't know
Tell me
what
how
to
you
say to
really
that one.
think.
Sorry?
Tell me how you really think. So ambiguous.
Yeah, I want to go to heaven, really, but so I'm not going to be reading everything from now on. I will cut wages and release our players and put youngsters in the first team. I hope he does this. What? Again, he should invest in putting kids' rooms in stadiums for families of fans visiting games. Saran says, okay, now maybe he should read that one too. Are they going to turn us into a reality show?
Oh,
Got me
Really are.
previously on the Chelsea House. That's introducing the new episode. Yeah, again, it's comical, really. Like in IBC said, we don't really need to know that. We are finished. Go away. Yeah, soccer is coming. You want to cry? You know where he's going with that, right, Roger? This is already a reality show. Indeed, it is. Again, motivational phrases. That's life. Again, give it all. I am not. I'm not the problem. Yeah, you go ahead. Let me see what else we have here. Again, all we need now is an Amazon All or Nothing. It will reveal quite a lot. I hope we do, but I don't think that it will be easy getting the new owners to say, okay, we want because they'd ask for a lot. We want results first again before launches. So what's Bali actual priorities? Maybe Chelsea in. I don't know. Again, what else we have again? Bali is preparing for his All-Star FIFA game. Probably he wants to bring about championship of video games. maybe I'm tired of the comedy right now. This is again news that we can forget about results until the next games. Yeah, maybe again bad results. Okay, they play with us again with news like politicians. That's why I'm saying there's a chance it is by design just to distract us a bit. Porter claiming again the PS5 in the chill room because he wants to play Football Manager and learn tactics. Okay. Yeah, that's again
That's
that
funny.
hurts. That's hurtful, really. Latest info again. If Bolly asks Potter to start a system of 4-4-3 again against Spurs, I hope he does again. So at least we'll have one more player on the pitch. When we beat Spurs again, all will be well. For a
No.
while, for some people, not for everybody. Again, it's Kami. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you again. More importantly, how's work going? I hope work is going well. I'll get to you in a bit. Something I wanted to do with your name there. Now we talk about that again. That's not about again bad results. Yep. Again, latest information about again. I think I've read that one. Again, results before anything. What are Bolly's priorities? Again, Chelsea go in the in the championship or what? Again, what's this lunch nonsense when you're winning 2 games in 15 games? At least something to talk about that you feel better about. Hi, coach. My best friend again. Yeah, you guys lost to Manchester United yesterday. Sorry about that. But again, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. More importantly, this is again, guys. We have enough. Again, chill out room. We have enough chill out rooms. There's one in the opposition penalty area at Stamford Bridge. Babrigo, were you saying something?
No. I was just looking at.
Okay. Again, Archer room is cold. Again, a toilet. The Wi-Fi is terrible. Just go away, Glenn, please. I want to talk about something. This kid. I don't know. Again, sorry, Bobby. You wanted to again, and Ty is here too. Bobby, you wanted to say something about the chill room, or you good? I think it's the walk. I don't know if he has time. I'm gonna wait to see if Bobby has anything to say about the chill room before we talk about this kid here. Ty, you can go ahead if you have time. You can if you're there. I don't know if you're busy too. You want to talk about the chill room? It's even difficult to say. It's like what's it called? The tongue twister. What's it called again? Okay, none of them are ready. So let me start you, Roger. Your thoughts. Should we even be signing this kid? What are we going to do with him? Exclusive at Chelsea are closing in on a verbal agreement with Independiente del Valle. There are 2 Independientes. This one is the Valle. To sign a Ecuadorian gem, Kendry Paez. They're close to be completed. Midfielder born in 2007, one of the best talents in South America. Kendry will be able to join Chelsea when he turns 18. Okay, we're just piling them up. Should we even be looking to sign this kid right now?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are we gonna come up with what we do with them? We still have talents in that area. We still have Casade, who's out on loan. We still have Andrey Santos. We still have Connie Chukwemeka. I think there's even more. Maybe I don't know. But you tell me why you said why not. I want to know.
Because of potential, ceiling. It's that simple. He could turn out to be the next great player. I've never seen him play, but let's say he's in the ilk of a Modric. You know, he could be a world-class player. Worst comes to worst, we loan him out, and we've bought him, pennies on the pound, as they say, or cents on the dollar. So it's that simple. You're buying young, and you're buying for, what Brighton are doing, what any other teams are doing, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be either putting them on loan or utilizing them in our B team, and let's see. It's better than spending 100+ million each time on potential. We need to be. Listen, this is under Vivell, Winstanley, etc. So this is good. This is what I want to see. I want us to be doing our due diligence and scouting and buying the best young talent available if it's not already homegrown. It's that simple. And he's supposed to be, he's highly rated as one of the top youngsters in the world. So I have, as long as, I don't even know what the price was. What was the price for him?
No, it's not mentioned or
No,
known at this point.
they
Here's the
usually
thing:
don't.
if the only aspect of this whole thing that makes sense to me, that he joins again when he's 18, that's 3 years from now. Maybe then at that point would lose numbers in the midfield area.
Exactly. You've got
More, again,
injuries. You've
most
got
likely than not, we'll lose numbers. Even I'm not sure Kovacic is going to be here in 3 years' time. I don't think Kante will still be here in 3 years' time.
exactly.
Yeah, so again, if that's the only way, because I want to see path. I want to see a path. Yeah, I get it. But,
Yes, exactly. A
yeah,
pathway.
but if that makes sense.
Yes.
Rodrigo, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I know. Usually they don't report fees when they're this young. Then I remember Madrid spent 72 million on a 16-year-old. From the highlights, obviously, I'm only relying on a YouTube highlight of this kid. He looks very talented. He looks like he can
He's
dribble.
left-footed, isn't he?
Yeah, he's left-footed. Yeah. Can dribble. It's good
And he
composure on the ball.
good passing rate and vision too.
Yeah. From those highlights that we've seen. So again, this
Yeah,
is the
exactly.
team where
Thank you for saying that. But you got clues from the highlights.
I have to. We have to repeat that so many times because people might think, oh, these guys on Coach Hispano have actually watched the Ecuadorian league. That this team, that's where Caicedo came from as well. I think.
I don't know.
Second, yeah. I think Caicedo used to play for this team, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ty, how about you? Before I go to those in the chat, you have anything to add to that? Okay, how about you, Bobby? You have anything to add to that? I'm going to keep, again, getting what we have in the chat. If Bobby comes in, then he has something to say about that particular topic. I actually, yeah, again, I've read down. That's delicious. Morning routine is to watch your show while I ride on the bike for an hour. Big up to you, Real James. I appreciate that. Again, I know the panelists appreciate that, and thank you so much for finding the time to join the talk today. More importantly, again, the fact that you're riding your back shows again you're good, and that makes us happy.
He needs to keep his eye on the road, coach.
Go ahead, Rodrigo.
He needs to keep his eye on the road, unless it's a stationary bike.
Yes, please keep your eyes on the road. More importantly, because we love you.
I don't like cyclists.
Rodrigo, if your wife heard me calling you Rodrigo, he's gonna say what?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's gonna say what? Excuse me. What?
Roger, you know how you drive in London or around London?
Not this time around, no, because I'm on meds. But yeah, normally I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean about cyclists.
Oh wow, yeah, in London, brutal.
So Rodrigo, Real Gent says it's in-house bike, exercise bike.
Very good. That's good, man. Good. Keep up the good.
Good point. Again, that's why I love this community. Good advice. Yeah, you don't be on the road. But go ahead, Rodrigo. You were saying something.
No, I was gonna tell him it's a good thing. I'll keep doing that, and sometimes maybe go for a run as well outside. I think it's always good to add to your bike exercise and running.
Play squash.
Again, do it in a variety of ways. Again, people, if you're watching, 84 likes, 16 more to get it to 100. We can get there, and thank you so much for all the support. We're really growing. Right now, we're at 10,157, and like I told you, I'm going to start a program to find a way to be supporting students every month, and I'm going to do that. That's what makes me happy the most is helping others. Saran says every time Porto loses 3 games, Bolly goes out and buys a player. At this rate, we will own everyone. Casade cannot even get game time at reading, which is worrying. I read in, so to speak. Okay, capital R, not because it's not capital R, that got me confused. I'm not sure. Why is that? Maybe we should call him back. We shouldn't be wasting his talent. It wouldn't be helpful. Again, so true, Rob. I think it's you, Roger, that calling Rob there. Again, football hairstylist, I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. I know I've seen you here before. Please do let us know that you're okay.
Yeah, born 2007, yeah.
But yeah, it's well busy for a moment. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Again, in other words, he feels old. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I've got vivid memory of that 2007-2008 season. Like how close we were to winning the league that season. And this kid was just like The baby then? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, they grow so fast too. And in football, you can see a 12-year-old be as good as that too. In some cases, we knew more about again Bobby Smokey Signals. Now we knew again he's in the chill room with a different. different yeah. I hope Bobby hears that. That's by the way,
Yeah, I
Lala
just
is
heard that I was in the
responding to
chill
someone.
room,
Okay, Bobby, you're
but I
back.
don't
You're in the
know
chill
who
room,
with.
right?
Yeah, the new chill room. That's cool. But with who?
Yeah. So, Bobby, quickly, since you're back, this one here, you're an OG here, so we can take it back. You want to talk about the chill room? If it means anything to you, or if you want to just talk about this kid here was signing. Whether I can, let me just ask you specifically: do you see a path for him? I don't want to again put words in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the chill room. There was somebody I responded to on Twitter who attacked it,
Hmm.
and I'm like, God, what is wrong with these people? Is there anything that these people do that is right? Or even if you're indifferent towards it, just leave it. You've
Hmm.
got to have maintenance done. Do you want our Cobham to turn out like Carrington, that had no revamp, no upgrade for years and years and years?
You mean United? Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing. They're revamping things, hopefully going to rebuild things. Give these guys a break. I just think our fan base, there's a lot of toxicity and it's coming out. They lack imagination, and I'll be so bold as to say they lack intelligence and knowledge of the game. And they think discussing Chelsea, the only way they can discuss Chelsea is to criticize Chelsea. That's all they have in their vocabulary,
Well,
Yeah.
criticism.
criticizing is one thing, Bobby, but when they're doing it in a non-constructive manner, that's the thing
Agenda.
that
Yeah,
gets me.
Agenda.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, and again, they shouldn't criticize about again, even though it's funny about the chill room, the chill out room, the name they called. That's so American, by the way. And I'm an
Yeah.
American telling you, the chill out room is
yeah,
so American.
good.
There's nothing wrong in it, even though it's funny. But go ahead, Bobby,
Good.
with what you were
What I
saying.
do know is that the chill room is part of a major revamp. They're
Mm.
doing all sorts of other things, not just the chill room. I think they're expanding the swimming pool or putting another swimming pool. They're doing so many things. But people take this and it's okay. I mean, it's funny. It's nice to be able to laugh and joke about it, of course. But there's been some attacks on Bowley because he's revamping our training ground. I mean, really, he's trying to keep us abreast of modern technology and developments in the game, and making sure that the maintenance culture of our facilities is upheld. What is
You,
wrong
I
with
think
you
that?
know what, Bobby? But Mark Cuban, who, I don't know whether you chaps are aware, but he's quite a personality. But he's basically the
He's a
person.
billionaire,
Yeah, he's
and he owns again an
the
American football team or
no, the
so.
Dallas Mavericks, the NBA, and this is
Again, in the
what
NBA, yeah, he's a
yeah this
billionaire
is what
also.
and this
You're
is
talking
what
about
he
Mark
did.
Cuban, the what's that show?
Yeah,
But
but
go ahead. Don't worry
I
about
know
the
how
show.
he made his money, but basically he did this for the Mavericks, well, 10, 15 years ago, give or take. And he was heavily, and it's just, you know what, it's just for people to talk about. It's,
yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. It's just, no matter what he does,
I
you
think
know,
I think
To
another
me,
thing is
it's just stupidity. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
people
gosh,
can't some people can't differentiate maybe criticizing I mean criticizing is like why did he hire Potter for example and then criticizing this. I mean they're two different things. The
yeah,
Yeah, as
to
much as it's funny, they're two different things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I can
very
It's for the
different.
sake of criticizing,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Sometimes it's too much. It's like agendas and agendas. It's just
It
ridiculous.
is silly. I mean, they've been doing some revamp on the stadium itself. I know they're going to rebuild the stadium, but they're touching up things here and there. I mean, they're showing care for their property. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
normal. Anyway,
Hmm.
moving on to Kendry Paez. Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with this. It shows that our scouting team after all, there was a lot of criticism before when we had Mr. McLaughlin in charge that the scouting had gone dead. Well, it's certainly not gone dead now. We are combing South America, especially Brazil, at the moment, and we're picking up young talent. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. People are asking us to sell off some of our homegrown players this summer in order to keep abreast with financial fair play. Yes, I have no doubt that some will be sold at all levels, but they're bringing in some as well, which is excellent news. I heard you earlier talking about Casaday. I really don't, personally, I don't have these guys in discussion when they're so young.
But
I know this
if
guy.
he's not playing at red, then shouldn't we bring him back? Might as well stay with our academy.
Well, if I can just finish, I mean, I know this guy's a lot younger than Cassidy, but not too long ago, certainly before COVID, when I used
Mhm.
to spend a lot of time with the academy and the developments and the under 18s, there are numerous things. I mean, talking with people like Eddie Newton, you'll find that there were numerous things that took place in the loaning of these young chaps to various clubs. Sometimes they could have injuries, sometimes they could have loss of form, sometimes the club would even tell you to measure their game time. Sometimes, like in the case of Cassidy, he's having settling in issues, and you never know. However, I do take your point. If he's going there to do nothing, absolutely nothing, then of course the club would should look to bring him back. But he's very young. My expectation of him, he is on a program as far as I know, and this first year is nothing
How
to
old
do
is
with
he now?
playing football. He's
90.
19 still.
Yeah, so
Still
is that
19.
at that age where he needs to be playing weekend again, getting them out? But go ahead, Bob,
Well, at
Bobby.
every age they need to be playing. That's just, he's. You don't know why he's not playing, and if it's the wrong earners, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes there is some wrong loan moves, and we've had that situation
Harvey Vale.
with, Harvey Vale and many players. What's
Gilmore.
his name?
Gilmore.
Gilmore had it. Even Dejan Sterling had a few wrong moves before he's finally got one where he's playing. So that's going to happen. Cassidy should be in the psyche of the youth team management, not ours really. I know Neil Bath will definitely have his eye on things, and the right thing will be done for this kid. His first year was just meant for him to learn the language and settle in.
Yeah,
That
you
is
said
the
yeah
program.
you educated us on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. The second year, maybe they'll look to play more,
So
depending
to
on how
acclimate,
quickly he
right?
develops. And maybe they'll send him on another loan. Maybe he'll play the odd game for the developments. Well, he's playing for the development squad, but maybe he'll continue with that. I don't know. It all depends on how he is settling in. And I'm so glad that we're taking our time, especially with the very young ones like him, taking our time, looking for the right solutions, settling them in. This kid came from Italy. He didn't speak English. Now he's to a whole. Do you know what it means? You leave your home, you leave your family, and you go to another country. No matter how close the country is to you and how well organized and well developed and what facilities you have, it's still a stretch.
Yeah, he's
You
gone
know,
from homemade pasta to steak and kidney pie, mate.
Well,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
Even
Fish,
that, even
fish and
that.
chips.
Do you know what, Roger?
Yeah,
Roger,
I'm
I
sorry.
remember Robert Huth. I so remember Robert Huth because
Yeah,
Robert Huth was a really, really nice guy, gentle giant, huge kid he was for his age, massive, but he was such a sweet boy. And whenever people looked at his size, they forgot he was just a kid. I remember he came to Chelsea, was like 15, 16. Fortunately, he stayed with a very nice, then we used to have fostering for these young players, and he had a very nice foster family. that really took care of him, loved him, all the things that he would get from home, made sure he was in touch with his family when his family came round. Fortunately for them, they were rich enough for them not to have to put up in a hotel, so they could stay in the same home um, where Robert was. And often, his mother would come and be able to stay there as well, and some of his siblings. So they did everything to settle him in. And it was a challenge because Robert Huth was very Germanic in his ways, right down to what he liked to eat. And you have to do these for this. He was a kid, you know what I mean? He had just come over to a new country. And, fortunately, Chelsea have always been very good at taking care of these guys. Even some of the African kids that we had, and the one that we got into trouble for, the French kid, Gael Kakuta, the pastoral care of these children is huge. It's a mechanism of the coaching network in itself. It really is, and that's why when we had the sanctions and so on, I was so furious because a lot of people ignore what really goes into making a football club work, from the tea ladies to the people, the kit man, to the people that take care of these children in the youth, the people that house them, the people that deal with their pastoral care, which is a whole team in itself
Yeah, it's
of
truly a team
really,
sport,
really,
isn't it?
yeah, really, really dedicated people. And they're not always paid. I think they are now, because with the rich ownership we've had, certainly since the Roman Abramovich time, it's become more professional. But I can remember before that, during the Ken Bates time, people did these things on a voluntary basis
Yeah,
because they loved the club.
Yeah.
sure.
Um, so it's a lot. And, we need to, as a fan base,
Takes the
really
village,
take
right?
time with these kids. Yeah.
We
Take
came,
time.
came
Don't
from Bath.
expect too
Yeah,
much.
Bobby, you remember
yeah.
the training facilities at Harlington? My God,
Oh,
we came from
well,
Bath, man.
that,
So
that,
we've come a
that,
long way.
but do you know what?
Yeah,
That wasn't that unusual for the period of time we were in.
yeah.
But it was for the level of club we were in, we are, even then, it was really unacceptable.
Really unacceptable.
We're going and sharing training facilities with the university,
Yeah,
bumping around training, changing rooms with
we had like
kids
John
going to
Terry in the
lectures.
squad.
And
Lampard. I used to go watch them. We had John Terry and Lampard in the squad. I was a
yeah,
kid.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, before we had Harlington, we used to do our training at the stadium itself,
Oh,
around the old dog track and that. Chelsea has been very, um,
They've
it
evolved.
has developed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we again, we don't regress, we progress. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Roger, something I want you to help me again answer with again with 10 seconds if you can, or maybe 2 seconds. Is this quickly? Bobby have always again he has always talked about the language again, the importance of was it Casadei learning the language. How important if a person doesn't speak English? Do you think how in what way do you think that deters in any way, or maybe deters their integration into the team, into the first team, or whatever, even if it's the academy?
It doesn't help, coach. It really
Okay.
doesn't help. You're a fish out of water. But thankfully, a lot of people at a young age, they know the basics of the English language, and it takes time. Obviously they get tutors. I assume that the club will provide
Would you
tutors.
say it doesn't help, but it's not a deal breaker?
No, it shouldn't be a deal breaker because obviously there have been.
But if that's what if it shouldn't be a deal breaker, you're talking about established players like old 25, 24, 25, who also again they speak the language of football. But for younger ones who needs a lot of coaching, go ahead with the importance of them knowing the language. You can say the language spoken in the country where they are.
Yes, and also you have translators. Like I'm sure Enzo has a translator, and
yeah.
he's probably
But
having
yeah, but
several
it's
hours a
not
day.
seamless anymore. Once you need a translator.
Yeah. But also, he's probably spending an hour or two a day learning the basics of English. So it's like if I went to Italy, I don't speak Italian. That would transpire for myself also. So listen, it's not a deal breaker, but it doesn't help either. But you will acclimate eventually. The
The
question
one
is, how soon?
the one player I'm now worried. That's a bit too strong of a word. Is Modric. I
Concerned.
feel like he's too isolated. Maybe when I see him in videos, it doesn't look like he's integrated as well as
The
Felix and
others.
Oh,
Yeah.
the other.
Rodrigo, I'm so glad you've mentioned that because that
Mm,
is such a perfect example of the need of correct pastoral care for these guys. You
mm,
can see Modric looks lonely. He's
Yes.
there. He doesn't really have anybody that speaks his language.
mhm.
Plus, his
He
country's at
he's
war,
often
right?
sorry.
Plus, his
Yeah, yeah,
country's at war. He's got other
exactly.
things on his mind.
Well, yet again, there could be all that going on.
He
Now,
probably
I
has
would
family
like
and
to think
friends that have passed, or
I,
knows
I,
someone.
I would like to think, and I would never forgive Graham Potter if he's not onto this, that they are
If it's not
doing
paying attention to that,
every,
right?
Yeah.
yeah, they've got to make that kid feel happy, feel at home. You won't 100% be his home, but you can make him a home from home,
Hmm.
especially when they're so young. Nowadays we're very on it about mental health and the mental health of these players playing so far away. We take it for granted. Oh, they're earning this money, they're earning that money. They're still human beings. And this guy is coming from a current nation at war.
Yes.
He's got to be taken care of. And I believe that they are. If not, they'll be very
It'd be
stupid.
stupid if they're not. But good point, though. I think we content creators should talk more about how he looks isolated. And then, Rodrigo, thank you so much for picking out that. I've seen a big picture of him laughing with some of the players, but it seems except if they're playing like Rondo or so, that's when you see him smiling. But I think it's
Co-
important they're paying
Coach,
attention to that.
it
It
will
can't be
take time.
easy.
It will take time. These are young men in football teams. Eventually, they all sort of settling and they build up their strong friendships. He's going to have a mate there that he gets on with better than others.
Yeah.
I often see him with people like, is it Chalabar sometimes
Ben
taking,
Chilwell.
sorry, Chilwell. Yeah, Chilwell seems a bit close to him. So
I've
that
seen
will
Loftus
just
Cheek play with him.
Yeah, all that will develop with time. I'm sure they're taking care of him for sure. He's
Yeah,
going to
I
look
think it's an
lonely.
important part to talk about, and that's why again the Blue Morning Show is unique. We have again very intelligent panelists and intelligent members in
I
the
want to
chat
go that
also that
far,
come up.
coach.
I know you've called me. You
I'm
just joined the
joking.
show and said even coach is sounding intellectual.
Oh man,
I'm
you're
gonna
never going
hit.
to let me
I'm gonna hit back at you when you
at
respect with
least
that one.
expect it, yeah?
Oh my goodness, Rodrigo, were you here the day he said that? That was
You're
the
That
never
day
was
we
going to
I
let
had the
me
think
match.
I
do it.
was. I
He
saw the
said something that sounded like all this while coach has been crap, but today he sounds like an intelligent
It
guy.
came out
And I was
wrong,
like,
coach.
wait, what? What did he just say? Yeah, but that's
Oh,
by the way again. Chelsea all the way. Spalletti is linked to what Chelsea if Potter is booted out. He will surely come to the
no,
scene.
no,
And again, the other guy. Yeah, it sounds easy. Do you know the
no,
club you're talking about?
no.
Have you heard about Loriente, the
Mhm.
president of Napoli? You should hear him
Di
get
Laurent.
interviewed about the future of those two players
Yeah.
and hear what he says. He says something like it would take something out of this world to even get them to
Yeah.
consider selling the two players. And if we hear that from him, he means it. Look how much he got from us for Koulibaly. And
yeah.
Koulibaly doesn't
We
have
had to
actually much left on his contract when we got him. Go ahead, Rodrigo. You
our
were saying
negotiation
something.
for Jorginho was my God. It's like trying to get water out of a stone. But
Yeah, even though we had to pay something extra for Sarri himself before
yeah,
Jorginho's price. But that's by the way we move on. The beautiful game says again, coach, who is scouting all these players and Are they bringing them into to fit Porter's profile? Because if that's the way, if that's the case, then may I recommend Lukaku? Okay, I'm gonna skip one word. He's big, he's bulky, and
Yeah. Mamma
uh,
mia, mamma mia, coach. Mamma
Mamma
mia.
mia, indeed. He said that during that interview. His
Yeah.
response to the again the fact that he's added weight. He will fight like right in. He will fit right in, so to speak.
Can
Yeah.
can I say
Good luck.
something that's
I
going
don't want
to
him.
can I say something that's going to really surprise people?
Mhm.
Now, let me get it really, really clear that I don't want Lukaku. I really don't. I think he's burnt his bridges.
Yeah.
And I've never rated him as a player. I never wanted him in the first place. And I think, unfortunately, those of us that didn't want him have been proven right. However, let me say this. Lukaku, when he's behaving himself, is just the kind of character that dressing room needs.
You mean it
Because,
from a leadership perspective?
yes, he's a bit of a leader. He's a bit of a fighter. When he's in the mood, he's the kind of, you know, person that will go forward. He knows how to rally the troops. He's vocal. He always has a voice. He likes talking
Yeah.
and he likes to be heard. And
Hmm.
he loves geeing up people. He loves being that guy in the dressing room. He's reminiscent of what the interview by Mikel was saying, that all those big egos, they used to battle every training session for who was going to be top dog in the team. Fights would break out and everything. They were always resolved, but they were that fiercely competitive and that strong mentally. Now, we've got this geezer from New Zealand who's supposed to be dealing with people's attitudes towards
We
women.
haven't heard much about him.
Well, we're not supposed to. He's supposed to be very much in the
Yeah,
background.
he'll
Now
be back.
you know quite well, but I know Bobby knew I was kidding. Go ahead. I think since Bobby has started talking
So,
about Lukaku, we'll transition into the Lukaku topic. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something.
so what if, and this is a very, 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 very long shot, what if somebody can get into this guy's head, get him to stay fit, and get him in that dressing room? I think it will be more of a plus than a minus. But it's such a long
A
shot with him.
gamble, coach.
Yeah, it's too
Bobby.
much of a gamble. But you see where I'm coming from. That character, that maturity, that strength, that kind of person that if things aren't going well, I remember Rudiger when he will come face to face with you, and you wouldn't want to fight him. You know what I mean? And he will
Even on the
pick you
pitch,
out.
even during match days, he does that again in the match proper. He
Exactly.
speaks with the again face to face, come at your face like this, and like wake you up. But go
Exactly.
ahead,
You know,
Bobby.
I remember hearing from Dan Petrescu, who was very senior to John Terry, but he used to always say that every training, John Terry used to kick lumps out of him because Terry, as young as he was then, was beginning to build himself a reputation in the team as the tough guy. And when you are that physically tough, listen, we know what it's like. A group of men together in a situation. There's always got to be the alpha coming through, and Lukaku could be that alpha. People like Rudiger, Terry, Desai was quieter, but he was always a very strong character. And these are the last bits of the jigsaw that I think we need in this team: strength, physically and mentally. And it's a long shot with him, but if we can start getting one or two like
Well,
that into the
Bobby,
team,
this team is quite youthful, and we are, for all intents and purposes, missing leadership.
I think we are. I think we're
Yeah.
missing the right type of leadership. I have to say, Kepa is quite vocal. He's quite
Yeah.
motivating. I like Kepa like that. I
He's,
like what he
he's a
does.
goalkeeper. It's easy from the
That's
front,
the
from the
problem.
between the sticks.
The problem is, one, he's the goalkeeper, and I
Oi.
don't think he's the kind of player that can stand in your face and look like he's going to knock you out if you're not playing well, like Rudiger would. But he's a leader in his own right. You see Kepa on the sidelines when he wasn't playing,
Yes.
shouting, this is what we need. I really believe Enzo, when he's settled in, will be that guy. You can see it. He is that type. And South Americans, they're very hot.
Passionate.
Yeah, hot, passionate. And yeah, we need that. I don't know where we're going to get that. I was hoping we'd get some of that out of uh, um, Mason Mount, but he seems a little bit frail in that area.
And we lost
Gallagher,
Jorginho, don't forget. That's a big loss in the locker room.
yeah, Georgie was
That's a
very
big loss.
vocal.
Whether you like him or not, it's a
Yeah.
big loss. And again,
No,
reports are
I,
that actually players weren't happy.
he was a
I
very
think
likable and
Go ahead,
charismatic, a
Bobby.
natural leader, Bobby.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think Gallagher can grow into that. I know Rhys
Really?
James for sure. You can see it already. But it's coming with these youngsters. But the problem is that they are youngsters.
Yeah.
And the confidence to do that is only going to come with time. But, yeah, Jorginho, of course, people are going to miss him. He was a very big part of the club. But you know what? Get over it. It was time to move on. Um, yeah, they're definitely going to miss him. His personality, you could see it all over him. And one thing I have to
Let
give
me ask you. Yeah,
Jorginho,
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off. Go
Jo-
ahead.
Jorginho is, no matter if he wasn't playing well, no matter all the stick he got, he will still come back smoking for the next game. You have to give him that. He has a very strong character. Yeah.
Yeah, quickly again, before I come to you, Roger, a question I want to ask you. Again, I think I'll still bring Bobby in and Bobrigo and again Ty if he's there, if it's not just holding the space. King So again read this news and is building a panic room as we speak. Yeah, Kim So, Kim So will counter that. It'd be interesting to get his thoughts on that. And remember, guys, again, the evening show, the new evening show premieres this evening, and it's a special type of show. And believe me, you will enjoy it. This is Discussion News. Again, news, Bobby. That's why it's funny. Yep. Again, I think we all know that Chelsea is becoming, it's becoming Chelsea FC. They will chill themselves in the championship. I don't think we'll get relegated, but I get your concern right there. Chelsea Sports and Leisure Limited. I can see it. Let me see again. Bali should also consider constructing an escape room and a bunker. Okay, I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to go to the very bottom and try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Apologies to the OGs in the chat and all the people there. Again, another swimming pool. Have we signed up Michael Phelps? I am joking, of course. Just having some fun. Enjoy yourself. It's Kami. 2 wins in 15th, and you want to chill again. That's the mentality. That's where this comes in. Even if this was by design to distract us a bit, I don't think it's the right you could say item to use to distract us at this point. Because yeah, see how you put it right now. No one is saying building a chill room is a bad idea. You have to put your priorities in order, and we shouldn't be hearing about that. Maybe they didn't want it up. Maybe somebody saw it and then broke the news, and then now it's everywhere. And look how people are taking it. The people again are running with it. Up the Charles. Let's go. Yes, nice to see you. I like your name. Again, that's the spirit I want to see. Bobby chooses between chill room and result. Again, it's and result. Is you criticizing people who thinks otherwise? No, he's not. Again, but if you paid attention to what he's saying, Bali buying a new player is synonymous to Bali keeps us serving us fans pudding while a Potter is busy frying the fish. Wow. Okay, I'm going to skip to the very bottom right now in a bit. At least again, we are winning the transfer market, and that's a huge win. That ensures that the future is bright. Until Chelsea can sack Potter, I will never watch the game again. Their game, okay?
Wow.
That's you again, Mark James. I heard that again. Bobby, now balance out everything you just said with the Mikel interview. I beg. I better go do make we hear. I want here. Okay, again, Romana must be having a coronary right now. Wow. Yeah. Top of the morning. Akeem Frankinson, nice to see you. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies. I know some of you I haven't read your contributions. So again, Chimera, where do you see our next 6 points come from, Coach? Again, we have Leeds and Leicester City. Sports again. Do you think this again a mid-table manager has the minerals? Well, mineral is somebody's branding, but I understand where you're coming from. I'm just kidding anyway. I think you could say, we'll probably take the 3 points from Leicester City. I think they don't defend well right now. Plus, I think we can take 3 points from them. The other 3 points, I'm not sure where it's going to come from, really. Leeds have a new manager. The new manager bounce probably still in effect. Osimhen price tag is 88 million pounds. What currency you're talking about? But that's why I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies, I'm not going to get everybody's comment again. I just finished watching Stephen Potter's conference, and yeah, he seems like a man not worried about the sack. Also admitted that the owners are still backing him, still blames everything but himself. Well, I think he's taking on occasions he's come out again and has clearly taken the blame, saying again he needs to do better, if that makes sense. Again, Lukaku typing Chelsea having a rest in peace period. Again, I'm coming to chill, get paid, and go home. Coach, again, what's up? What's up to you two, Chelsea Blue? I hope you're doing well. Yes, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies. Let me see. What do we have here from here? Potter, again, in his press, are already making an excuse. Do people know that Chelsea had a mid-season training in the Middle East? Wow. Again, coach, honestly, Chelsea just need a better coach. We have the players. There will again. We have the players there willing and ready again. But we saw this one again. You don't respect the coach, he will always lose. Okay. Potter wins the sports game and he will be a hero. Yeah, again, it's a London derby, a big one at that. If he wins, I think it changes some people's mind, but I don't think it changes a whole lot of people's mind. What is funny about Andrey? Again, who did anybody say anything funny about Andrey? So you just made that one up, maybe again to get us to read your comment. But that's by the way we move on from that. What is again? We have another topic here I want us to talk about. Let's get into that again. Not everybody have spoken about Lukaku. And yeah, Roger, I wanted to ask you this question. We're talking about this because I fear there's a situation, something could happen that we don't have any other option than to take him back. Just like in the case of Aubameyang, we don't have any other option than to keep him now and try. We even tried, you could say, to send him out, to push him out by saying we're going to pay all your salary, but please join LAFC. But he refused, and now we're hearing he's playing 5-a-side at in Milan, where we're getting ready for a very serious game. What happens? What do you think will happen that will force us to take Lukaku, to take him back? Because it's something like that could happen.
Yeah, it's very much a possibility. He may not have a choice. If Milan doesn't want him, hypothetically, then he has to come back, or we cut him. Those are our only two choices, unless we loan him out, I guess, to another place. But he will have to agree to it.
Wow, it's really concerning. And do you see any situation, how bad our situation will become, that again, Graham Potter will say, you know what, Lukaku can be the savior here? Do you see any? I don't see that. I'm sure the club are well, again, the new owners are well acquainted with this behavior, whether under Thomas Tuchel, whether his public comment. Go ahead.
They will sit down with him and they will say, what are you looking for? What do you want? They will sit down and with him and or his representatives and ask him, what is your end game? What do you want? Do you want to play for us? If not, if he says yes, and then Potter, I dare say, will say, well, this is what we require of you, 100% effort, etc., etc., etc. And if he's willing to do that, then he would be welcomed in by the coaching staff. If not, then he either has to go out on loan or he's cut. It's that simple. There is no other alternatives. So I don't know. Maybe he will come back under a new coach and will give it his all, and maybe he will be a success with us.
Roger,
It's possible.
that's what I was going to say, because he started sending out those signals, isn't he? The cop out is that, oh, Tuchel's gone now.
Yes.
Tuchel was the enemy. Now there's a new guy. Maybe he'll play me more.
But you know
And
what though? It's like going back to an ex, once bitten, twice shy. You know?
No, maybe he doesn't see it that way. Maybe he
No, that's
sees,
true.
because
That's
at
true.
Inter Milan now he's not the main guy. You know that, right? And we've talked about
No.
on occasions why that isn't the case. Why is that the case? The case is, again, the two chief creators he had when he had that brilliant season at Inter Milan, where, again, what's the one at PSG right now? Ashraf Hakimi and
Yeah,
Lautaro
Hakimi.
Martinez.
Yeah.
Now, Ashraf is gone, and Martinez has become, again, you could say, again, the main guy in the team in terms of goal scoring and all that before Lukaku returned. I wouldn't see, and I haven't seen that happen. It doesn't seem like Lautaro is willing to relegate to being Lukaku's creator. And I think you can see Lukaku isn't really enjoying his second stint at the club. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, he's been injury prone and he's put on weight. I mean, the latter is probably, a result of his injury. So, but you're right. Those two individuals who made his season, they were his main suppliers of balls. They have left, so it takes time, and the quality with which they replace them is obviously not up to that level. It's possible. Don't forget, we have new ownership also, new coaching staff. So this is, for all intents and purposes, a new club to him. How many of the players that he would have played with a couple of years ago are still here? So,
And what do you think the club would rather do? Because I'm sure, here's the thing. They probably must have heard the issues he had under Thomas Tuchel.
sure.
And I'm sure he paid it again. To be honest, I haven't seen any video where he said he's not going back to Chelsea. He'd rather take a pay cut and go somewhere else. Those are just speculations or
Sure.
rumors.
Don't forget, the
John-
owners don't look at him as Lukaku. They look at him as an asset, a financial asset. That's all he
Exactly.
is. That's all any player is. That
So
they are
if-
just a number associated with a shirt that basically represents this price tag and this value. That's it. On
I'm
the
sorry to
spreadsheet.
cut in.
No, never, Bobby.
I think the best solution for the owners would be if somebody comes out and says, look, I can use this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's contracted and we've got to pay him, and we need a striker. And he is all those things. So the best solution for them will be Christopher Vivell, look at this guy, Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, they all
Exactly.
talk to this guy. Potter, if he's still here, turns around and says, look, I can use this guy. Then that would be cost effective, because they won't have to go and splash out immediately on a striker. And this guy, we can start to wind down his contract and he'll become useful in terms of the 300 and something odd quid a month, 1,000 a week that we pay him.
Yeah.
And if he does start scoring the goals, well, happy days. So,
It's a win-win, isn't it?
Exactly. That is the ideal solution. You're right, Roger. They're going to sit him down and say, listen, what's the end game?
No. You can't say that in front of coach. Don't say that in front of coach.
They're going to talk to him and say, look, what can we do in this situation? That is just logical. And if he comes out stupid, then of course they're going to try and get rid of him. But if he says, look, the usual cop out, I didn't get on well with Tuchel, he kept benching me and yada, yada, yada. They'll tell him, look, you're benched if you don't play well, but there's room for you here. Do you know, if we have him just for one season next season and he performs well, then his contract will be wound down to 2 years.
And his value will be increased. We can sell him.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's a gamble, because he could be a bad apple, so to speak. But then again, you're right. It's a viable fiscal solution. It really is, because he is a commodity, a financial, and we're paying a lot of money for him to go score goals for other people.
So again, here's the thing. Even
with the coaching
Mhm.
staff, would they? I want to say this, and I don't mean it in his favour, but can they accommodate him? I'm not just saying like bend over backwards, but can he fit into the system? You know, this is my only
that's the
concern.
most important question here. If anything,
Yeah.
I think it would take some desperation for the club to decide, you know what, let's get him back. Because here's the thing, if we can it be, I don't know how else to phrase it, not to sound like I'm insulting anybody. Bringing Lukaku back will compound Potter's situation because he has to play differently to accommodate him.
Yeah.
If in a fluid approach, he's not your man. He
No,
can
he's
barely
not.
get the ball under control, let alone participate in a fluid approach. And again, here's the thing, I think we've seen, again, the situation he had under Thomas Tuchel highlighted his biggest issue. He has to be the man again, and he thrives whenever there's space. It's not,
But
in terms of
coach,
being effective only when there's space. It doesn't differ that much.
but
With
Felix and Enzo, they could be worthy suppliers to him. Plus,
Yeah,
plus
and
Reece,
will there
plus
always be the
Reece.
space in the
And
Premier League?
Madueke.
There will not be. That's a problem.
Oh
If
no,
we're
I see
being
what
honest,
you're saying.
we'll still play again. Plenty of teams that defend deep, and then he finds it difficult to be effective because he needs space. He's not a good dribbler. Every now and then he pulls off one,
He's good
but
in the
he's
air
not a
though.
good dribbler.
Also, he's
And
a
as
good
big as he
headerer.
is, you know, he doesn't bully defenses that much, that well.
He will take up defenders though. That's the good thing about him. He will occupy that space and those two centre backs, and that
Yeah.
could provide opportunities for other players. There is, and he does make good runs, but he has to be fed the ball often enough for him to make those runs consistently. Otherwise, he will
Mhm.
just give up and pout. So it's a gamble, but potentially it could pay off because we have high caliber players with which to provide him these balls. You're right, though. We face low blocks constantly. There isn't that space. I get it. You're right about that. And he doesn't have a great first touch. I get it. But with his back towards goal, he's a good hold-up player also. There are pros and cons with him.
Even the hold up thing, he doesn't do it that well. He has to have acres of space to do well, if that makes sense. And I have to
Sure.
say that it will take some again crazy measure of desperation for the club to say let's get him back. But it's worth talking about because it's out there. And he's starting to sound a bit.
I don't know
Again, you
about
could say
desperation, coach. I think if Milan don't want him, we have no choice.
that's another situation. Yeah, that's another
It's not. It's
situation.
not.
But I don't think. I think Milan would want him. I think Milan they're just playing the
Really?
long game. They just want
Yeah.
us to begin to feel like let's just let them take him for how much they want to pay us. Yeah, if that makes
And
sense.
coach, that is all the more reason we have to
Mhm.
see if we have an alternative solution. Because rather than get ourselves bent over because of Lukaku, if we can reach a compromise and a workable solution for him, one, it will stop us being held to ransom by anybody.
Yeah.
And two, it might help us solve a lot of problems. You know, yeah, people talk about the fact that, yeah, he's not good with low blocks. But I've seen Lukaku as a bulldozer. Many
Yes.
a time he wins balls in the air and scores headed goals.
He's
I
good in the
remember,
air,
like in
coach.
the World Club Cup, you know,
I wouldn't say Lukaku is actually good in the air, but that
I would.
maybe I could be wrong. But go ahead.
I
I
would.
would.
Don't you
Yeah.
remember the headed goal in the World Club Cup that he got? You know,
For
That's how
Belgium.
many.
against.
For
That's how many
Belgium
total. How
also.
many headed goals does he have actually? I think I have to look into it, but I wouldn't say he's good really, given
He's
his
He's
for
not
height.
Belgium.
prolific. He's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
prolific, but
Yeah,
he's better than
yeah.
what we
Given
have
his height,
now.
it's not as good as he should be in the air.
Sure.
One thing
Here's the
positive.
biggest problem. Here's the biggest problem with Lukaku. I think I saved that video. You should see Henry analyzing the problem with again traditional strikers. But specifically, he was talking about Erling Haaland's biggest issue at Man City. His runs are not dynamic. He makes that again. He has a place. I think Henry used the term, I think room or his home, which is that again that place you find traditional strikers always expecting it at that place, and that's one of Lukaku's biggest problem. His runs are not dynamic. He makes one
Because
straight.
he's not
He
fit.
makes one straight run, and doesn't adjust in case, again, if somebody's in front of him, or in case if the person with the ball decides to cut back in. And he used a perfect example. I think he used either Harry Kane or he used Benzema. When Benzema was making a run into the box, I think it was Vini, not Vini on the right-hand side. Who was that?
Rodrigo.
I think it was Rodrigo, decided to cut the back in, and Benzema read it and stopped running, dropped back a bit. You don't get that 99 out of 100 times. You don't get that from Lukaku up to 10 times. He will always want you to find him where he is. He doesn't even read the situation that the player is blocking the lane from which that player on the right flank could cross the ball in. That is his biggest issue. One. The other one is he doesn't have a good ball control, which makes him a liability in a fluid approach. Excuse me, Rodrigo, go ahead.
Because it's not fit. When you play as a strikers, especially in modern day strikers, where you run the channel, you don't stay mobile, it takes a lot of fitness. It takes a lot of, because sometimes you make these runs and you're not gonna receive the ball 8 out of 10 times. You're not gonna receive the ball. You just have to make those runs to make space, and you keep doing that match after match. This guy, I don't think this guy is fit enough. 100 for a football player is too heavy. Yeah. Oh, one more thing I want to add. I don't know, for some reason I feel really positive about this Spurs game. I've got an epiphany.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to say this. It's in the ring right now. I'm going to say this. The truth remains, as long as Graham Potter is the manager, he doesn't approach the game the way it suits Lukaku.
I don't think this guy will fit in.
Lukaku will actually compound his issues at Chelsea right now.
How tall is he? Is he 6'3" or something like that?
I'm not sure about his size, but that's the least of my concerns.
I reckon it should be around 80 kilo. It should at least around 80, 78 kilo. It's too heavy.
He's got a lot of
and as much as, again, just quickly to respond to this, again, Chelsea all the way. As much as I think Osimhen is a better player, I think would have the same issue with him. Would have to change our approach to get the best out of him. Otherwise, he gets frustrated. All his life, he's played in a position where, in the teams where every time the team he's playing for gets to score a goal, now you can say at least 80% of the time the goal scoring opportunities are channeled through him, if that makes sense. So again, as much as I think he's better, has better touch than Lukaku, and probably, but it's still overall, he's not the man. It will be a risk for him, and believe me, he will struggle. You guys still talking now? I'm going to bring the Clad in to have to say we have about 10, 20 minutes to round up.
Oh, that's good. That's good that I came now then, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So you can go for another hour.
You're going to pay us a late fee. So go ahead, Declan, your thoughts.
I wasn't going to jump on, but what's going on? I heard there's all this sympathy for Potter and the Bowley and now Lukaku as well. What the hell is going on here? Have you guys not watched Lukaku in the World Cup or Inter? Like you guys are like Bobby had to go all the way to the Club World Cup to remember a header that he scored.
The backstory is this: there's a situation we find ourselves in. There will be no other option for him to come back than for him to come back.
He can come back and work in the tea room or something if you really want him to. What do you want to do? He can work out you can scream at the players. He can show how the players how to do interviews and stuff like that. He could be a media correspondent. But like this guy doesn't have to play. This guy is such a disease, right? He's going to come in. Do you think Potter can't control the situation now? You think he's going to control this guy? You think he's going to stop him from getting the way what he wants? Right? This guy when it doesn't go his way, he kicks and screams, and Potter's going to give in to that. Potter's going to give in to getting what he wants. If this guy was legit there, he'll have his way with Potter. This guy would be the coach. This guy would be telling Potter, I'm going to play here, and I need this. And what do you think Potter's going to say? Yes, boss. That's what he's going to say. You think that if Potter has such a presence, right, to deal with Lukaku, he would have so much presence to deal with the dressing room now, right? And we would be more in a decision. Even Tuchel, right, and the whole mess of last season couldn't control this guy. This guy, Tuchel didn't give in, and he had to go do an interview. That's how much he went to. That's the extent this guy's willing to go for. So what else will you do? Like, I'll give you a great example. The dressing room that is not.
We're just looking at possibility.
No, I've
We're
given
very
him the
aware of.
backdrop.
And I'm crushing down that any possibility. That's what I'm doing. I'm talking that this guy will be worse than any good. You know what I'm saying? I know it's Fred K, but you know what? I'm telling you, him not being in the dressing room is worth more than 300k. That's what I'm saying. This guy is such a detrimental on everyone else, right? Is that he'll cause that's why I call him a disease, that he'll cause a bigger problem, right? Then you'd say stuff your 300k.
What happens if Milan doesn't want him and says, okay, you're back?
Is Milan the only team in the world you think that will go after Lukaku?
No,
if this guy's available, there's going to be heaps more bids.
Sure, I'm just saying, technically, once Milan doesn't want him, hypothetically, he is ours again. Therefore, we either have two choices, well, actually three. We play him, we cut him, or we loan him out.
No, you sell him. That's another choice. See, this is what you just said. Milan don't want him.
What if you can't find a buyer?
Roger.
You know his wage will always be an issue.
Yeah, but this is what you guys are leaving out. Milan don't want him, but Chelsea can tell him we don't want him as well, and he has to find another club, or he's not going to play. So he then will have to take that wage cut.
No. If you tell him you don't want him as well, you still be paying him his salary.
No, you cut him. Well, actually,
except if you cut him. But if you say you don't want him, and again, he can keep him in limbo. Whatever you do, if you don't cut him, if you don't pay, you can say again, what's the term for it? Is it payoff? What's the term for it?
Yeah,
like buy his contract, you still be paying him. But go ahead,
I don't mean cutting him like that. See, this is.
Don't want him. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
This is what happens, right? If Milan don't want him, then we tell him we don't want him. So now he has to either he's going to sit and do not or play with the under 21s here, right? Or he has to negotiate his own deal as well. So if he's going to be stubborn and go, I want this money, then the only clubs that are going to pay his wage are Saudi Arabia clubs and maybe American clubs. I don't think China don't do it no more. So only if he's going to go to Saudi Arabia or something like that, right? That's the only way it's going to pay. Or the transfer fee is a lot low to compensate for his wages, right? If we sell him for 20-30 mil, that's cheap, and that compensates what he's really worth, and that would go into his wages. Or he might take, if he's really keen on another club, but they can't afford the wage and the transfer fee that we're asking for, then he might take a pay cut, because it's in his best interest to keep playing as well. If it's not in his best interest, right, then he can sit and play in the under 21s, or just sit and get paid, like very drink water like, or another loan as well. He has to play a part in his best interest as well, and I'm sure he wants to play. He doesn't have that many years left, right? So I think he still wants to play. But if he doesn't, then there's no point. This guy, if he doesn't want to do that anyway, and he just wants to sit at Chelsea, there is no point playing him. If he has that mindset that he doesn't want to go play somewhere else, and I just want my money, then this guy is never going to get fit. He's never going to be motivated. You can't just say, oh, let's just play this guy because he's here. If he's already had that mindset, he's just here for the money. You're not going to get nothing out of this guy. He has a weight problem as well. He has to work hard, right, to keep fit. And if this guy's unmotivated, he's not going to be fit. He's not going to score goals. He's just going to be those 7 touches a game guy. That's what he's going to be.
Injury prone.
Yeah, we probably fake injuries. When someone doesn't care, they just fake injuries. They go, I got a little knock. It's a bit of pain. I'm not going to play.
What do you think will happen?
It's just what I said. Is that either he gets another loan, right, or he works in tangent with other clubs, right, to work out a great deal. And I think that what I said is going to happen with Milan. I think we're going to sell him to Milan for cheap, and that's going to compensate for his wages.
And that's probably the game they're playing right now.
Of course, yeah. And that's the game they played at the start.
Yeah, they want to get him for cheap.
Another thing, if we're after a player from,
go ahead.
Yeah, if we're after a player from Inter as well, we might compensate there. Pay more for that player to compensate for that deal. That could happen too, something like that. But Lukaku, like, if he really wants to stay in Milan, right, and they kind of half want him, then he might take a pay cut to stay as well to make it happen. And it could be another club too. It could be another, I don't know. If you want to go back to
So
Everton.
his Chelsea contract expires in 2026. Is that correct? Yeah.
Wasn't it a 5-year contract?
Yeah, I think we signed him on a 5-year contract or so. So
Yeah, so it sounds about right. 3 years
June
left.
2020. It sounds about right. So again, it's a difficult situation, really. And I don't want a situation where it turns out we have to take him back or find a seller or tell him to go find a buyer or tell him to go find a buyer. It's a very, very difficult one, honestly. But
it's a money thing. Like, I mean, at the same time, if we played people on based on their wage, you know what I mean? Like, we would have a terrible team. You get what I'm saying? Like Aubameyang's getting 170, right? It's not quite 300k, but he's not playing, and he's cut out of the squad. And we don't have a recognised forward as well. Koulibaly's up there as well. Koulibaly's our second highest paid player with Sterling. These guys haven't been playing, and they haven't been playing well. Do you know what I mean? So if we start a ranking like that, you know what I mean? And then there's
they haven't been playing consistently well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then for the longest time we had Kepa on, you know, as our backup keeper, the most highest paid backup keeper. You know what I mean? I get that Lukaku's such a
Kepa's
financial
on
liability.
a week.
Yeah, but as a backup keeper. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like initially, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying what Lukaku will do will occupy a spot in the team, right? And you're saying because he's 300k, you should, you know, maybe we'll give him a chance, whatever, let him play a little bit. It's kind of the same argument we've had with Kante. Kante can't keep, you know, he's injury prone, doesn't play a lot of games. He's on 290 as well. Do you know what I mean? And he at least does well when he plays. But is he even worth it? So there's a question there. But like Lukaku is more than just a player. Lukaku just showed that he has pissed off fans from every club he's been at. Every club. Celebrating against West Brom and that.
And I think probably
returning, to be
honest.
Yeah, like
that's a fact. Yeah, like what Roger said too. That's a fact that I didn't leave. The fans won't even won't be open to it as well. He'll be booed off the get-go. Like to win the fans' loyalty back, you'll have to do so much, which you can't do. And he's so out of form now.
Goals each game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, like. Do you know what I thought? I thought he was playing bad at Inter because like he was holding off for the World Cup, and I thought in the World Cup he was actually going to be like he was going to kill it. But he turned into Timo Werner. Those misses were so comical. It was so crazy.
Awful. He was awful at the World Cup.
Yeah. So he was awful there for something I really thought he was keen on, and I think he said he was keen on. Then he comes back and I think his motivation for playing is lost it. I think that it's probably very likely.
Belgium, you know.
Sorry?
He's always produced for Belgium. And his big knock is why can't he play for his clubs like he plays for Belgium? True, you have De Bruyne feeding you the ball. I mean, he can make me look good. I get it. But yeah, but to play this poorly in the World Cup, that to me was an eye-opener.
Yeah, here's the thing, Declan. We had to talk about this because he was out there and some old players are suggesting Chelsea should take him back because of the situation. But it wouldn't make any sort of sense. And I fear we'll find ourselves in a situation it's either we buy out his contract or we'll keep him.
You know what doesn't make sense to me? Is that, clearly we need a striker, and that's what everyone's talking about, right? And we're lacking goals. And it's kind of deja vu.
But this would also hinder people like Fofana and Broja when he's fit also. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Like, if there's Broja coming back, Fofana, I don't know why Fofana doesn't play. This is something that really bogs my mind, and it's very Potter thing,
isn't it?
Fofana, the attacker, right?
Yeah, and if we're gonna go big on a striker in the preseason, right, in the next transfer window, I think that they're gonna go for a younger, you know, so someone that fits the age and someone that can play all together and grow with the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, why get Lukaku? Kind of start playing around him and then have to get another striker after that. Does that make sense? So I feel like if the whole team is new, the whole team is new and young, and we might as well get another young striker, and we still have Fofana and Broja, and let him fight for the spot. And surely that's why I said we're going to have a team of just so many players and so many young players. It's going to be like Hunger
Yeah.
Games. Let them fight for that
Yeah.
spot, all of them.
Yeah, just quickly, Rodrigo, you wanted to add something. I see you came back. You wanted to add something, or should I go ahead? All right, it looks like he's not available, probably still at work. This one, again, honestly, I don't want someone, again, who has disrespected my club and fans coming back. Again, respectfully, I'd be happy with Porter playing Fofana and Alba until, again, at the end of the season. And again, Fofana actually is a better player than Lukaku. Lukaku is just bigger, more experienced, again, and Fofana is younger, but he's well equipped to do better than Lukaku as a striker because he's not your stereotypical, type of striker. He's a hybrid striker, if anything. Rafael Leao to Arsenal, okay, can let that happen. Lukaku and Chelsea have two things in common. We are at our lowest point right now. We need a striker. He needs a club. I don't want him to stay again, but if he does, we all know he can score. That is just you thinking that's going to happen. Again, cut our losses and terminate again. That's the term I've been looking for all day. Terminate his contract or sell him to whoever is willing to buy him in the summer. I think there's a chance, again, selling him, again, terminating his contract may well be the better option because he's on a high wage. We can come to an agreement with him, say, we'll pay you this amount, just go, please, just leave us alone. And he knows he'll still find somewhere a big club like in Saudi Arabia or in the United States that will pay him a lot of money. That may well be the better option for us.
Yeah, it's a lot of money though. If you're going to
it's a
cut
lot
his
of money,
deal,
but yeah,
you need to agree on a sum. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
isn't 300k?
Yeah, around 350 or so. I'm not sure.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff, right? But again, Lukaku might actually eat the fact that at least he's able to do something. We have a striker in Alba. Again, why are we talking about a new striker in the summer when there's Fofana and Alba? And again, Broya coming back. So I don't think it makes sense for us to even consider bringing in a new striker, if that makes sense. Lukaku made a big mistake going public with that interview. But I can see where he was coming from. I don't see where he's coming from in that case. Backwards and sideways passes when a striker makes runs is annoying. The predominant factor that time is that, again, Tuchel doesn't want to make Lukaku the main guy. He wanted to build a team and not build a team around a single individual. Lukaku probably thought buying him would mean they build a team around him. Everything will be revolving around him. I think that's
No. That's not what he said when he joined. He said Tuchel plays like we do at Belgium. I'll easily adapt. That's what he said.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I know he said he will.
He just didn't want to run anymore.
He probably thinks again when we wanted him so much that we will have to eventually build a team around him. But that what he says is a different enough together to me. Joking aside, we needed to prepare ourselves for Romelu's return for at least one season, unless Bali does a Marina. Okay, again, let's see what we have here. Again, Kachila and panel, I am listening. Enjoy, Chama. Enjoy. Thank you so much for reminding us. Kachila, again, you're wrong with your analysis. Again, I've seen Lukaku making runs and runs, and you saw called creative players. That's it. Making runs is a different thing altogether. My argument is that his runs are not dynamic. Once he's in a particular position, he hardly adjusts where he is. Usually, attackers like Karim Benzema, what's his name, Harry Kane, they do more than just wait for the ball in the 18-yard box. For instance, in the case of that example that Thierry Henry used, you see Benzema, he saw Rodrigo, who was on the right flank, that the passing lane has been cut out, and Rodrigo cut back. He had to drop back, but Lukaku will still wait there and wait for you to find him. That's what I'm saying. His runs are not dynamic. Yes, he makes runs. And those runs you're talking about, he makes those runs only when there's space in behind the opposition defense. Once we play against teams that defend deep, he finds it difficult. And that's what he has in common with Timo Werner, because he's not the best in terms of 1v1. Yeah, there also has to be space before he's able to do something when you're talking about 1v1, if that makes sense to you. Let me see again. I'm going to scroll down and start from here. Again, if Lukaku was still at Chelsea 100%, you lots will put the blame on him. Okay. Well, I see that happening. Coach, again, Coach, would love to see Lukaku go to Inter in exchange for Barella. It will never happen. You know Inter, and you know who Barella is. You know he's 10 times a much better player, and you're saying no, they're not going to do that. And again, they need money. Plus, again, that's something we will never happen. Actually, again, the clad is Lukaku. The clad is Lukaku. The reason Chelsea cannot score at the moment. Yeah, I know you understand the clad's argument fully well. You're just trying to pull us into to another direction. Milan.
I mean, what's the reason why he can't score at Inter or Belgium?
Yeah, exactly. Milan and Lukaku are playing Chelsea. That's what I think too. They want to get him on the cheap. They keep him on the low, so he will be worth nothing at the end of the season. You cannot expect Milan to play him and make him better, which will increase his rate. Yep, that's the truth. Santos deal again. We'll talk about that in a bit. Again, he has had his issues with us too, Roger. Okay, again, he wanted to quit the national team after the fans didn't appreciate him enough. Yeah, so it's not working for him anywhere. Lukaku, again, how can you make runs if you are only in the 18? Are you paying attention to what I'm saying? Adjust your position is the term I used. Did I at any time say he cannot make runs? I just said his runs are not dynamic. In 80% of the times.
It's 18 yards.
Yeah, it can. Even in the 18-yard box, it's not about making it. It's about adjusting his position where he's standing. But he stays there. He wants you to find him, even if it means building a canal to get to him. When other strikers will yeah, go ahead.
You couldn't play the ball into him. I mean, he was no good on the ball. So
yeah, exactly.
There's sideway passes you couldn't play into his feet, and then he can play off other people. Couldn't do that. The only thing you could do was you had to play a long ball while he ran like a train. And he's not going to stop because you can't turn this out. He's just when he runs, he can't turn. And if you don't get it, if you're not that good on the long balls, it's going to be offside or it's not going to get to him. And he was very predictable.
Yeah. So exactly. He was very big in because his runs are not getting his positioning isn't dynamic. It's always stands there and wait for you, pointing where he wants it, and doesn't adjust to the situation. That's my argument. Yeah, he makes good runs, but only when he has space and behind. Could you just watch about the presser? He clearly knows he's in the pits with the dogs. Here's the thing. Yeah,
really?
I think you could argue that he's under pressure. He's under pressure.
Yeah, I need to go sleep soon, so I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, again, Pep isn't even using Haaland the right way. That's the thing. That's the same issue. Go watch. I think I should share that Thierry Henry's analysis of the issue with Haaland. It's him adapting the way City. He hasn't adapted fully to the way City play.
Which is scary, coach. Which is scary.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Yeah, even though he's done well.
He's done more than well, coach.
Yeah, he's done more than well. He's broken all sorts of records. But again, the argument is that he could be doing even better, if not for that that issue that Thierry Henry pointed out. Is that nines? Okay, nines. Again, whoever we get need to be able to run in space and beat the last defender, and even if he has 2-3 players on him, be able to find a solution in tight spaces. Again, not just wait for service. That was Lukaku's biggest issue. He has to be served to him again how he wants it or where he's pointing. Otherwise, it's done. He's done again. Put Osimhen in that Chelsea team last year, and he would he would not score many goals again. I'm 100%. Yeah, that I've told you that it doesn't differ that much from Lukaku, even though he's better in terms of his post touch and everything, ball control. The scout make big mistake buying Lukaku into a slow possession team, and even Lukaku again, if he stays in the Premier League, he's not gonna you're not gonna see consistent performance. Why? Because you always play against teams that defend deep, and there's no space for him to be as effective as he can be. Haaland has done well because he has Kevin De Bruyne. Not just Kevin, lots of good those that again the supplies come from. But lots of them. The services come from a variety of players. I want to get Bobby's thought on this one. What are we going to do now? If we can, I don't know if it's still possible, because it says again, Andrey Santos' proposed Lund move to Palmeiras is off. I think that's the last topic we have for the day. Bobby, if you're there, what's going to happen now?
I think there was another club in the running for a loan move to him.
His former club.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that option. That is assuming he wants to go on loan there. He might just be happy to stay and train at Chelsea if he doesn't get a suitable loan. Whatever happens, he's our player. And all we're doing is trying to wind down the clock until the summer, where we hopefully get his work permit and he goes on pre-season with the rest of the team. But meanwhile, his fitness, his match sharpness, and of course his being active is what we're looking into. Palmeiras, is it over? Well, I knew the sticking point was whether loan till June or loan till December. They wanted December, we wanted June. If it's over, then it means they stuck to their guns. And maybe we can revisit something with Vasco if he's very happy to do that, because he said his goodbyes. He may not want to go back. But I don't think it's a crisis situation. For a young player, perhaps not getting competitive games for a few months is not good. I appreciate that. But, what can we do? Can we loan him to another European league, Portugal perhaps, where he can work without a work permit as a Brazilian? That is an option. But I know they will find an option. That's what they're there for. And they should, for the good of the player.
Yeah, again, thank you so much. Again, all the passes was coming in and the runs wasn't a problem before the interview came out. Here's the thing. Again, I think the interview made it worse. Otis Maxwell, if I'm being honest. And plus, he started well, but we learned a big lesson. Yes, maybe the interview came out before. We learned that, again, when he's not playing, we created more chances and actually scored more goals. And that's simple logic in the sense that whenever he's on the pitch, either subconsciously or by design, everybody wants to find him. But whenever he's not on the pitch, the goal scoring opportunities, you can say, diversified. A lot of people comes from the front, comes from the wingers. Again, if that makes sense to you. Anybody else wanted to say something else regarding the Andrey Santos deal or something else? Quickly, we don't have too much time. All right, again, big up Kachila, again, the panel and the chat. Hope you're well. I hope you're keeping well too, DJ. Again, Chelsea's problem is not, again, in striking position, no supply from midfield. Again, if you follow Chelsea very well, their goals are mostly from the midfield. Really? Oh, the issue you mean? I'm not sure. Again,
hey, where did all these Lukaku guys been sleeping, man? They've been sleeping for a long time, defending. They come out now. Hey, maybe I should find some of my old streams where everything they've been saying, I was ripping onto him really early about his runs, about his touch. You know what the difference was before he got injured in the interview, right? He was running. He was putting in a lot of effort. He didn't like that anymore. 7 games in, he was like, I don't want to run anymore. Why am I running a lot?
Nothing to make up for his lack of technical ability and all that.
He was coming back. He was trying to help out. He was trying. And I thought maybe I was wrong because I didn't want him. And I was so against him, right? But then I started to notice he didn't want to come back. He just wanted the ball over the top. He didn't want the ball at the feet. He wanted his style. And that's what he complained about.
Yep, all right. Again, thank you guys again. If you haven't dropped a like on the stream, we have 106 likes. That's not easy. We haven't hit 300 since the transfer market shot. But that's, again, at 100 plus, that's acceptable. Loan Santos, is that even possible? I'm not sure if he can be loaned to another European league at this point. I'm not sure. And he still have to get a work permit there. I'm not sure how those things work. I heard, again, Vasco wants to take Santos back on loan for 3 months. Maybe that's the one that makes sense. He played with them. I think he got promoted with the team. So maybe going back there, again, will make good sense for him. And, again, play with the players he's played with for a long while, or players he played with in the second division. Gym workout done. Reed James, again, good job. You did it. Again, keep it going. Good exercise is good for your health. This one here quickly. Potter, nothing I say will convince our supporters. My actions, results, we have to. Oh, thank you for coming to that realization. Maybe if you're just, I'm sure this is you're just saying it. I think this is not. You're not just realizing that, but yeah, at least you're just telling us that, and it makes sense. Let the result just speak for you. No more excuses. We need to see a win tomorrow. This one here, Felix. I think this makes me happy. Again, I was at Atletico Madrid for 3 years, and I didn't have a chance. Here at Chelsea, I had one. I had one after one game. I think, yeah, at least we're making him happy. Maybe let's see if we can. That will help him decide again he wants to stay at the club. But beyond that, we need to also have Champions League football. Anybody else want to add anything to that one, or should we call it again? We don't have too much time here. Just about a minute.
That's funny.
Hey, so was there one thing about the Tottenham game there?
Sorry, this one here.
Yeah. So let me get this right. The team has had 3 days off, yeah, before this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how many days off. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah. I think it was
they had
just
one.
2 days
They had
off.
one extra, and then I think they announced another one.
And then a partial training. I call it. And some people are not going to train, and the reason they're saying behind that is that again they don't want to risk injuries.
Oh, how big is our squad again?
About 35 players or so.
Oh, okay, they don't want to risk injuries. No rotation?
I don't know.
No partial training? What about training to the guys that aren't? No.
I'm not
I think
sure.
they
Yeah.
I think a lot of things I'm hearing of like is like talking to the fans like they're idiots. That's what I'm like a bit annoyed about. Like everyone doesn't know what they're talking about. Like Egbali comes out and said football was behind 20 years of data. Like I'm still waiting for the data he got on bottom how we came to this. I'm waiting for this data to come out.
There was partial
and
training. It's the full training that was stopped for 3 days.
yeah, I didn't hear partial. I heard full training. So there's conflicting stories. And you know what else as well? There's a lot of
today or yesterday. I don't remember what day actually. But go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. There was
regardless, there's a lot of leaks coming out.
training, but no
Sorry,
full
Bobby.
training.
Okay.
I heard full training, and there's probably both coming out there. Partial training makes sense.
There was no training in the sense that the full training sessions were not put out, but players were still coming in, going in for warm downs, massages, gym work, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and for the reason of because players are overplayed.
Well, that's the reason he gave for the 3 days off. Yeah.
Does anyone think these players are overplayed? I don't think these players are even trying, and plus we've got a big squad.
Well, the ones coming back from injury, they need to be eased back, don't they?
Yeah, but they're not
apart from
lacking an
that-
overload.
Well, there was an overload to perhaps people like Reece James. You can't expect him to come back and be playing twice a week.
No, that's
so
not an
he was,
overload. Reece James hasn't been playing. Like Reece James is not up to scratch.
No.
Like he needs training. Like these injured players, they actually need training because they need to get their sharpness and fitness back. Overload is playing too many games. The reason they gave is they're playing too many games. We're out of every competition. We've got the biggest squad. We're gonna have the biggest rotation. I don't feel like we've got an overload problem.
Well,
All
come
right.
Sunday, we're going to find out how that's all going to pan out, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got a
Exactly.
little soft
Everybody
squad
has
on
the answers.
Sunday.
Huh?
Yeah, I think they're gonna come out a little soft on Sunday.
Let's see.
Let's
Let's
see.
see what happened. I hope we
I have
win
no
that one.
idea, to be honest. I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no idea. Let's see what happens. I want to say thank you to those on the panel from Declare, Tyrone, Bobby, Smoky Signal, Roger Pop. I appreciate you all. And for those in the chat, Glenn, thank you so much, Glenn. I appreciate you. Chelsea all the way. Again, a real James. Again, I hope you enjoyed your exercise while listening to us. Appreciate that. Again, DJ, thank you for joining. Again, Chelsea all the way. I've said that. Beishas, nice to see you. Who else again do I miss? Len Phil, nice to see you again. And Thomas Bay, Bayes, nice to see you. Everyone is again, if I miss your name, apologies. Sean, John, and on all the rest. Again, see you guys again. when the evening show premieres today. Something different and something special. Again, see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Cheers.
Yep.